as the NASCAR Cup Series here in 2025 goes racing at Darlington Raceway, and we are here live on Tim Reynolds Show for this play-by-play. Thank you everybody for hanging out here on the show. And here we go. As William Byron started out on the pole here, we are going good at Darlington Raceway. Thank you everybody for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Let's go. And we see a battle here on the inside as Ryan Blaney, driver of the number 12 Ford Mustang, is able to get on the inside of Tyler Reddick in the number 45 Toyota. But Tyler Reddick able to have some strong speed on the high side. But we see a lot of big grip issues here usually at Darlington, so we'll see how this plays into this matchup.
Track workers were late into the night repainting the walls red and white here at Darlington. They'll be painting them again Monday. We'll have the stripe count for you.
And here we go, already 4 laps in this race at Darlington Raceway as we see William Byron. Oh no! And Kyle Larson's into the wall. And the number 5 Chevrolet with that beautiful throwback scheme now looks like he could be done already for this race. What happened there?
Boy, that car's hurt.
And man, that car is not in good shape. And we see here on the replay, Kyle Larson gets really loose on the inside of Joey Logano and just runs right into the interior wall. That is a big blow for Kyle Larson early on here in this race and in this matchup. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show for this live play-by-play for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. And this is Throwback Weekend. We're going to see a lot of very good NASCAR racing throwback schemes on all of these NASCAR Cup Series cars throughout the weekend. And man, I'm pumped up to be here with you guys on Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys for hanging out, man. Yep, dude, already Kyle Larson into the wall. A tough break for the number 5 Chevy for Hendrick Motorsports. He was definitely a contender here on this racetrack where Kyle Larson has won before, but unfortunately he's already knocked out here early on as we are at our first caution 5 laps into this Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway. Thank you everybody for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show for this live race play-by-play. Appreciate you racing fans. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody hanging out here. We're on our first commercial break, so we'll see what happens here after the caution. Only so many laps in. I don't imagine that we're going to see a lot of people going in the pits this early. So appreciate you guys hanging out here on the channel. Don't forget to make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show, and welcome to this race play-by-play on Tim Reynolds Show for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. And that's right, time for a pit stop, guys. And hey, we are here early on the show, but let's do it to it, baby. We got to give a big shout out to all you guys in the chat. Here we go. Crack them open, baby, if you got one. Cheers to you guys. Oh, yeah. There we go. It's NASCAR Sunday, baby. Woo! All right, so we're on our first commercial break. Kyle Larson brings out the caution early here. So we'll see what is going to happen if these pit crews are going to want to take advantage right now of the early caution and bring these cars in, save those tires for later, or what kind of pit strategy will we see? We'll probably see a lot of guys stay out, I imagine, here on this set of pit stops. What's going on, Francisco? Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Appreciate everybody. Oh, it looks like we do see a few teams. A couple of the Toyotas. We see Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick make pit stops. Denny Hamlin also. Joey Logano also in for a pit stop. And all these drivers are taking 4 tires. Brad Keselowski, Ty Gibbs. We got Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney Oh, and looks like Shane Van Gisbergen
Van Gisbergen.
had an issue with his car already.
Follow up on what Kevin just said about being on the offense. That's exactly what
So this is very interesting. A handful of cars here come in for service. Looks like most of them took tires, so they'll have a set of tires that is a little bit worn here for their next set. And we see Denny Hamlin, who's got 4 wins here at Darlington. And there on the replay, yep, Kyle Larson just gets loose coming down the backstretch, I believe. And man, that number 5 Chevrolet just runs right into the interior wall. A tough break there for Kyle Larson.
It's already pretty edgy when you're side by side like that.
And Larson, who was in victory lane just 2 weeks ago, unfortunately gets caught up here in a big mistake. And Ryan Blaney almost slides right through his pit box. That number 12 Ford Mustang had a longer pit stop than he would have liked there because of that slide. And he did have to back up as well before he got out. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel.
Getting out of there as good as possible.
Yeah, and these cars are super hard to turn when they're going slow. Feels like you.
And there is the number 5 Chevrolet being towed back to the garage. More than likely, Kyle Larson's day will be done here early on.
Said right there at the beginning of the race, Kevin, turn 2 is definitely one of the turns that is the trickiest here, especially door-to-door. Run out of real estate. There's an apron and even the bump now. That bump is massive. They're going to unload the car as you've got wheel in it. Spins people out.
And before they repave that section of the corner, you could use the apron to kind of cheat down the racetrack. And I think that's what Kyle was trying to do, was cheat down the racetrack a little bit to give himself room to Logano. But now that transition of the inside lane and the outside lane are sharper, it makes it much tougher.
So the first of the drivers that did pit.
All right, guys, we're getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here on this restart. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys! As we see William Byron, driver of the number 24 Chevrolet, pulls up front in the lead in that awesome paint scheme in that number 24 Chevy. We see right behind him, we got Austin Cindric in the number 2, and we're 3 wide all the way near the back. Oh, we got contact near the front. Austin Cindric, the number 2 Ford Mustang, has contact on the inside of Ryan Priest, the number 60 Mustang, there in the second row. As William Byron pulls away with the lead, we're going 3 wide in the back of the pack here at Darlington Raceway. And this is one hell of a racetrack for these NASCAR Cup Series drivers. We see a lot of competitive racing here as we see Kyle Busch has moved his way up inside the top 5, currently in the 4th place position. And we see a good battle here from Michael McDowell in the number 71 Chevrolet on the inside of the number 17 Ford Mustang of Chris Buescher. And man, there is a lot of back and forth near the back of the pack here as we see a lot of people try to gain as much ground as they can on these restarts.
The first 16 cars on the restart.
As we ride along here with Denny Hamlin, he's right behind Hunter Nemechek in 19th place.
Up to 11th. Gibbs, Reddick, Nemechek all at the back of the top 12.
And after Denny Hamlin started 3rd, he's on a new pit strategy here as he was one of those drivers that came in and got 4 fresh Goodyear tires on that number 11 Toyota Camry. And now we'll have to see where that number 11 car will take him later in this race. And right now, we got a battle in the back of the pack as we see the number 4 of Noah Gragson battle up near the front. And we see the biggest movers are a couple of the drivers who already came in for tires, including Bubba Wallace, driver of the number 23 Toyota, came in and got a new set of tires, and now he's already made his way up 6+ positions early on in this racetrack. And we see here 2311 Racing has 3 cars in this race. Bubba Wallace in 12th place. Tyler Reddick currently in 19th in his number 45 Toyota. We'll see what they're able to do here at a very difficult racetrack here at Darlington Raceway. And Ryan Blaney on the inside, Noah Gragson going to the bottom of the track here. He's also on the inside of one of the yellow cars there. I believe that's Joey Logano, his teammate. And he's able to get in front of the number 22. Oh, we got close contact there for Noah Gragson in the 24th position. And now Joey Logano will take that spot away from him in the number 22 Ford Mustang. And you see how easy it is to really get alongside of one of these other cars and have contact. They call it the Darlington stripe for a reason. And a lot of drivers really ride along that wall there, especially down the straightaways, to try to get as much grip in those tires as they possibly can. And William Byron, now with the lead, the number 24 Chevrolet, in that badass old school flame silver number 24 neon color there. Right now, currently, William Byron's the fastest driver, as he's got the fastest lap out of anybody. Right behind him, Ryan Priest in the number 60 Ford Mustang is the second fastest on the track.
William Byron doing William Byron things, just quietly taking care of.
Currently, your top five here, we have Ryan Priest in second behind William Byron, who's in the number 24 Chevrolet. That number 60 Chevy, or the number 64 Mustang behind the Chevy. We see behind him is another Mustang, Austin Cindric in the number 2. And then behind him in fourth place is Kyle Busch in the number 8 Chevrolet. And then Chase Briscoe is in fifth place and his number 19 Toyota. And now the drivers have started to spread out here a little ways, as a lot of these drivers try to figure out where the grip is in their cars and what improvements they need to make. And it's also going to be very interesting how these pit strategies really come into play later on in this race, especially with a couple of pit crews already coming in for 4 fresh Goodyear tires. So
hard to get a read when the tires actually even out. And there's a lot of people that will decide rear sway bar, no rear sway bar. I always liked the rear sway bar because it just had this automatic rotation. And when you get these cars all on the racetrack together, they naturally just get tighter. And having that bar always made it so that it had that rotation no matter what you did. Even if it wasn't enough, you still had something.
See, that's Hocevar's been against the wall. As Logano.
it looks like Carson Hocevar, driver of the number 77 Chevrolet, has already caused the first Darlington stripe getting into the wall there. And we've already got 5 Darlington stripes here early on at this NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway.
Yeah, I misspoke on that.
Well, we may be corrected there, Larry. Statistics here is telling us no. I'm sorry, Larry.
Yeah, I'm not so sure we didn't get bad data on that.
Yep. Okay.
All right, thank you everybody for hanging out. What's going on, Mom?
Noah Gragson, 23rd.
And here we go. We got Noah Gragson driving around in that number 4 throwback Ford Mustang.
There is no internet on pit road, so kind of a cluster down here, Jason. I'm assuming that's why my SMT is glitching up here. I assume we have no SMT, no time meter scoring, no anything right now. So I'm using my phone to look at Ford's racing, but
Oh, boy.
And that's not good. The number 4 of Noah Gragson, his Ford Mustang racing team does not have communications running right now. It appears their internet is out on their pit box. So that's going to be a big problem there for them if they're not able to properly know what their gauges are or what's going on with their computers there on pit row.
Give our data to anybody. It probably wasn't very good anyway, but that is a major disadvantage if you don't have that SMT to look at.
And if you don't have that SMT to look at, to be able to look at what other cars you're doing or what your car is actually doing as well compared to those other cars, then you're at a big disadvantage compared to everybody else here. Love you too, Mom. Thanks for hanging out in the chat.
Well, hopefully that gets resolved.
And definitely hope that gets resolved for a lot of these drivers here.
All right. So let's let's dissect that a little bit. What does that mean to these teams? You're not getting the data, okay? Well, they're not getting what the driver's doing. So now they don't know how much fuel that he's burning, right? We know that that's probably not going to play a role in a tire race like this racetrack is. But saving your tires. I mean, the list goes on and on. Driving style, how William Byron is out front in clean air. You heard him talk about SMT. That spotter on the roof. He's watching all those guys' inputs, and the teams are too. You know by his input.
Oh, we got a car spinning on the inside, and that's the 77 of Carson Hocevar, and that's going to bring out the caution flag here at lap 24 in Darlington Raceway. The second year in the Cup Series for Carson Hocevar. And now he'll try to get that number 77 Chevrolet back to his pit stop. And he gets into it. He will be able to get it back to his pit crew. And it looks like, yep, ooh, gotten to the wall hard there, did Hocevar. Really trying to drive that way too tough. And he got it on the inside and gets it loose, and that brings out the caution flag here. Hell yeah, guys. Got the yin and the yang. You know how it is. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show for this live play-by-play for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. And, guys, now let's get you a little bit of a race update here as where caution flag has just come out here. We're at lap 25 of 293 here in this lap. We're 25 laps into stage number 1. Our first stage is 90 laps long. Right now, currently, your top 5, William Byron right now in the number 24 Chevrolet is in first. Ryan Priest in the number 60 Ford Mustang is in second. Austin Cindric in the number 2 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing is in third. Kyle Busch in the number 8 Chevrolet for RCR Racing is in fourth. And then Chase Briscoe for Gibbs Racing in the number 19 Toyota is fifth right now as we are under caution. The number 77 of Carson Hocevar, his Chevrolet got loose, and unfortunately he has a flat tire after he got into the wall, and now he'll have to make it back to his pit stop to be able to make some changes there and get some new tires on. Hopefully he'll be able to continue. Excuse me, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Don't forget, guys, to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, so currently we are under commercial break. Try to get everybody up to date here as soon as we get back. See what everyone's going to do. See what all the drivers and teams are going to do here on these set of pit stops. And here we're already back.
Caution for the second time today. Carson Hocevar, after that spin, I believe, has driven to the garage. No. He's driven around to pick up the tail of the field. William Byron, our race leader, Ryan Priest, Austin Cindric, Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe are the top 5 here. And
all right, and we will see. Looks like everybody will come in for pit stops here early on in this race.
Briscoe's radio, he won here in the fall, hoping to do the same today. He said on long run they're pretty good, but he needs a little bit more for that short run to fire off. It'll be 4 tires for the 19 team. Meanwhile, the 8.
So it looks like 4 tires for the number 19 Toyota team for Chase Briscoe. 4 tires for a lot of drivers here. Nice clean stop there for Kyle Busch in the number 8 Chevrolet. And we see Ryan Priest in the number 60 Ford Mustang says he needs a little extra grip in the left side. A little bit too free for him. And the same for William Byron, who does win the race off of pit road. And we see Kyle Busch was able to gain 1 spot. Bubba Wallace and Chris Buescher also gained 2 spots, and Ty Gibbs and Tyler Reddick gained 3 spots as they get up into the top 10 exiting pit road here. So some nice pit stops here early on, gaining some spots early for a lot of pit crews here in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're here on another commercial break here for the Cup Series. And NASCAR racing will be back here shortly. Getting all nothing buttoned up for everybody. Yeah. Thank you, racing fans, for hanging out on the channel. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. All right, so while we're under commercial break, we'll see here who is able to make it out of those sets of pit stops here. So we're not seeing much of a difference here yet after that set of pit stops, as we'll wait to get restarted here with probably about 30 laps, with a lap 30 here of 293.
This year. Ryan Priest is on a roll. 3 straight top 10s. He qualified on the
And Ryan Priest is on a roll. The driver of the number 60 Ford Mustang has had 3 straight top 10 finishes. And it looks like he's trying to continue that streak with him and his racing team for RFK Racing. For Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, they're looking to really have a very successful season this year and hopefully be able to win some races and get back on track in championship contention as well. We know Brad Keselowski wants to get everything back going good for his racing team, but adding this third car, the number 60 here of Ryan Priest, is a good addition for them. And Ryan's definitely had a very, very good last 3 finishes, all inside the top 10 in those last 3 races. So Ryan Priest is definitely on a roll.
And one of those sets of stickers is what they started the race on. So you think about those teams that's pitted twice, they are now down to 7 sets of stickers. So
all right, so originally each team to start this race gets 9 sets of Goodyear tires, and already these pit crews have used up 2 sets early on in this race with a lot of laps to go. So a lot of these drivers right now are probably going to be hoping for some green flag racing for a little while. But what also could be interesting coming up here is what pit strategy will take place as we get later in this race.
After pit stops.
And we're getting ready to go back racing here at Darlington Raceway for the NASCAR Cup Series here in 2025.
Getting ready to restart.
Get ready, everybody. Here we go. Coming to the restart. William Byron, the number 24. Kyle Busch, the number 8. Chevrolets kick us off here as we get restarted back at Darlington Raceway. And William Byron pulls ahead in the lead in this number 24 Chevrolet. And we see the outside lane definitely has a lot more grip here early on as Ryan Priest comes to the outside of Kyle Busch, and he's able to get past the number 8 Chevrolet. That number 60 Ford Mustang looks good, but looks like we got a car in the wall here with a loose tire. This could bring out the caution. We're still under green here with 60 laps to go here in stage number 1. William Byron in the lead. Right behind him, Ryan Priest, and right behind him is Kyle Busch, who's dropped back to the 3rd position here. Ryan Priest pulling away in the 2nd place position as he tries to catch up to the leader, William Byron. And on the inside of the number 17 Ford Mustang is Bubba Wallace in the number 23 Toyota Camry as he tries to take away the top 6 position away from Chris Buescher.
Briscoe around Busch.
Busher able to fight him off. That number 17 Ford Mustang is fast here at Darlington. And Chase Briscoe with the fast car, able to get around. Oh, we got a loose number 8 Chevrolet. Kyle Busch almost into the wall as Austin Cindric got into the back of the number 8. And guess who takes advantage? It's Chris Buescher. The number 17 Ford Mustang gets around both of those drivers, and he's able to get into the 4th place position. And Kyle Busch is not going to be happy about that with Austin Cindric, driver of that number 2 Ford Mustang, got into the back left corner panel of Kyle Busch and almost got him really loose and into the wall. And now Chase Briscoe, who finished last year 5th in the spring race and also won this race here in the fall, Black last season in 2024. He knows this racetrack well, as we see riding along here with Kyle Busch. And oh, there we go, is when we see Kyle Busch get very loose with Austin Cindric right on the inside of the number 8. And oh man, Kyle Busch just barely able to save it there. A very nice save from the veteran driver. And Austin Cindric still trying to get back up to the back bumper of that number 8 Chevrolet. Kyle Busch, who's currently in 5th. He started as low, he got as low as 19th in this race, but now riding along in the top 5. Austin Cindric currently in 6th place, has a fast number 2 Ford Mustang as well.
Down on the grid, they were all waiting to go out for practice, and that's my winner.
And on lap 35 of 293, here with 56 laps to go till the end of stage number 1. And that number 2 Ford Mustang is inspired by Dale Earnhardt's number 2 1979 and 1980 paint scheme, a throwback back in the day. Man, there's a lot of badass throwback paint schemes here for this NASCAR Cup Series race. And coming up next Sunday, we go NASCAR Cup Series racing at Bristol Motor Speedway. And man, that's one of the best speedway, or I should say one of the best racetracks for the NASCAR Cup Series. That short track racing has a lot of action.
That split that number in half, 30 laps apiece. Once again, though, using up more sets of sticker tires. That's going to be a slippery slope.
But now here's Chase Briscoe, who had passed Chris Buescher, and now falls back.
And now we see Chris Buescher working on Chase Briscoe for that 3rd place position. And here comes to the inside, the number 17 Ford Mustang takes away a top 3 position away from Chase Briscoe. And now that number 19 Toyota is in the rear view mirror as we see Chris Buescher has got a fast number 17 Ford Mustang, and RFK Racing is happy to see that, as they got 2 of the top 3 cars right now currently at Darlington Raceway. And oh man, last year in the spring race, Chris Buescher was so angry with Tyler Reddick off of why he got him into the wall.
I remember that vividly. Heartbreaker for him.
And he was so upset with Tyler Reddick after he got him into the wall and took away the chance for him to win that race.
Yeah, and Ryan Preece has been the car that's been he's kind of been at the top.
And Ryan Preece currently driving in 2nd. Chris Buescher currently driving in 3rd. And also Brad Keselowski almost inside the top 10. So all 3 RFK, Roush Fenway, Keselowski racing drivers almost are inside the top 10 here currently.
Drivers with 7 races led early in this season.
And right now, as we head to another commercial break, William Byron leads the race here at Darlington Raceway. What's up, Roy? Thanks for hanging out on the channel, man. Hell yeah, looks like William Byron early on is the guy to beat, the driver to beat here at Darlington Raceway. He's got a very, very fast number 24 Chevrolet currently in the lead. Heck yeah, Roy. I miss Jeff Gordon too, man. I miss him. I miss Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well. Jimmy Johnson back in his heyday. I never thought I would say that too, missing Jimmy Johnson. I mean, the guy just won so dang much, but he almost seemed to make the racing guys a little bit more competitive around him. All right, we're currently here on commercial break for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. All right, guys, we're back here at Darlington Raceway.
Are dressed in throwback apparel too. Walking through the garage, saw a Sterling crew shirt, saw a Jimmy Spencer crew shirt. You know, fans love to show their colors, both new and old. That's part of the fun of Throwback Weekend at Darlington.
Well, this throwback right here was fast.
And we see William Byron has led all 45 laps here currently.
Jeff Gordon's final race. That silver car with the Exalta flames on it was a Chevy SS then. It's Camaro now.
I definitely fanned out that day. Took a picture by myself, kneeled down next to the old 24 car before Homestead.
There's my man.
And people really love those throwback paint schemes here. The NASCAR fans really do. And the number 24 is definitely one of the fan favorites here today. A badass silver with the hood details being in black. You got the flames on the side. And, of course, the neon number 24 letters, or numbers, I should say.
Chase Briscoe, who got up to third, is now settled in fourth. Bubba Wallace to seventh.
Sorry to hear about all the rain there in Kentucky there, Roy. And we see top performers here for Toyota. Chase Briscoe in fourth, Bubba Wallace in seventh, Ty Gibbs in eighth, Tyler Riddick in 10th, and Denny Hamlin in 12th. So a lot of Toyotas here inside the top 12.
Looked like he just barely touched.
And they all could definitely be serious contenders here at Darlington Raceway.
At this point of the run,
Danny Hamlin really coming back from the front, coming to the front from the back after taking a pit stop early on in this race when the caution came out after lap number 4, when Kyle Larson unfortunately got loose and got into the inside wall, and that ended his day early for the number 5 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports.
it's probably going to get tighter.
And you're already seeing that Darlington stripe start to show here on this racetrack for this NASCAR Cup Series race. And in Darlington, South Carolina, we see this stripe count has already gotten to 11 here early on in this race. We're 50 laps into this 293-lap race. And we are also at 40 laps to go here in stage number 1.
Or did he just get close?
So thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on the channel.
Yeah, he just flat-sided it right there. So going into turn 3, and we talk about this, the cars are different every single lap, and you'll get to a point where, like I said, it'll jump the fence, and all of a sudden the whole car will just start to lose grip, and you'll drive into turn 3, and you want to time that off the brake and throttle back up the hill, but sometimes you just get in there a little bit too far, or the car just gets a little bit loose, and you have to modulate the brake pressure a little bit so you carry a little bit more speed. The next thing you know, as you have to modulate that brake and you can't slow the car down enough because it's loose, it'll just slide up the racetrack and bang off the fence like that. And luckily it banged off the fence pretty square right there.
So Hamlin holding station in 12th, and right behind him, Brad Keselowski, who has picked up 2 spots since the restart. Regan?
Mike, that's right. He's been steadily moving forward as the race has gone on so far early today. Told me this morning he felt very good about that 6 car in terms of what it could do in the long run. Very similar.
All right, so we got a lot of good green flag racing here early on with 38 laps to go here in stage number 1.
Clear for now. Still coming back to you. Coming back to you. Still going to hit your quarter here. Quarter. Still quarter. Back to your door. Even.
That is not the voice that Brad is accustomed to hearing. Normally, spotter TJ Majors would be up there talking to him. That is actually Brad's brother, Brian Keselowski, spotting for him today. TJ Majors, under the weather, is not at the racetrack right now. So what do? You call in your brother, who has helped him out before. He's up there, a little brotherly
That's
love.
so cool, man. A little brotherly love there from the Keselowski brothers, as Brad Keselowski has his brother here at the racetrack at Darlington Raceway to be his spotter. That's pretty interesting and pretty cool. And we see right now William Byron, driver with the number 24 Chevrolet, has the lead by almost 4 seconds over Ryan Preece. So a pretty good lead early on here. We got Fords and Toyotas dominating inside the top 15 here early on as well. And dropping back since the restart, we see Christopher Bell has lost 11 spots since the restart. He's struggling right now currently in his number 20 Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing, and they're going to have to make some adjustments in order for him to get back into contention for this race here at Darlington.
He's in a bad spot, struggling.
And this Darlington stripe is known to be tricky
That's the worst time to have that
and could definitely foil a lot of plans for a lot of competitive cars and racers here. And Christopher Bell's throwback paint scheme for that number 20 Toyota was inspired by a sprint car scheme of his mentor, Ricky Forkel.
For Christopher Bell this weekend.
So shout out. Christopher Bell's badass paint scheme there. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
The original album.
And we got 34 laps to go here in stage number 1 at lap 57 of 293 here at Darlington.
The deal in practice, he said we were tight and slow, both things. He said we've adjusted, we took a big swing at it. We're not really sure what we have. So once they hit the track, they're not really happy with.
And Christopher Bell, who started 17th here in this race, has dropped all the way back to 29th now as Shane Van Giersbergen is able to get around the number 20 Toyota and his number 88 Chevrolet. And we see Ty Gibbs having a very good race here early on inside the top 10 in his number 54 Toyota. He was able to bounce back last week with a very good finish. This after some terrible luck early in the season. It's nice to see Ty Gibbs doing well. And on the inside of Chase Briscoe comes Ryan Blaney. And Blaney trying to take away that top 5 spot from the 19 down on the bottom of the racetrack. And now he's on the inside of Bubba Wallace for that 4th place position. And man, Ryan Blaney got loose there on the bottom of that racetrack. Even though he's got a lot of speed, it's definitely showing as we see Bubba Wallace also with a lot of speed just in front of him in that number 23 Toyota Camry, just in front in the 4th place position. And Ryan Blaney, who started 9th, dropped all the way back to the 22nd position, has worked his way up inside the top 5 here, currently in 5th. And we're also seeing here possibly some contact between Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin. And ooh, man, Hamlin was lucky to keep that number 11 out of the wall as Brad gets into the back left bumper of Hamlin. Brad Keselowski able to use that push there, that bump, if you will, and he takes away the 11th place spot away from the number 11 Toyota. And Denny Hamlin able to keep that car out of the wall, and he'll try to catch back up to Brad in that number 6 Ford Mustang. Currently here at lap number 62 with 29 laps to go here in stage number 1. William Byron with a nice lead. He continues to stretch out this lead here at Darlington Raceway. Almost a 5-second lead now currently over the second place driver, Ryan Preece, driver of the number 60 Ford Mustang. All right, guys, we are here on another commercial break. Thank you guys for hanging out on the channel. All right, guys, we're here on our first another commercial break here for the NASCAR Cup Series race. Currently, right now, William Byron is dominating. Ryan Blaney, though, has been able to work his way inside the top 5, currently running in the 4th place position. His number 12 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing right now is one of the faster Ford Mustangs on the racetrack. But Ford right now is definitely dominating inside the top 10. As we see right now, they have 3 of the top 4 spots already right now. And also, they have 5 of the top 10 slots right now currently running at Darlington Raceway. Excuse me. Also, we see Toyotas are having some success here at Darlington. As we see, Bubba Wallace is in 5th place in his number 23 Toyota. His teammate, Tyler Reddick, just behind him in 6th in the number 45 Toyota. Also, Chase Briscoe, who's been fast all day long, currently in 9th place in his number 19 Toyota. So that makes 3 Toyotas inside the top 10 here. Chase Briscoe, he's fallen back quite a ways here. He was riding inside the top 6 and top 5 for most of this race, but we've seen a lot of other drivers are utilizing tire wear and a better driving line here at this racetrack to be able to get up towards the front. I like what we're seeing from Kyle Busch. He's racing very well in his number 8 Chevrolet, currently driving in 7th place here at Darlington. And we are back racing here at Darlington, and William Byron has led all 66 laps here today, and now he's starting to come up on lap traffic, and I wonder how much that's going to play a big part in here for this racing. And we see Ryan Preece, who's almost 5 seconds behind the leader in 2nd. Very fast race car there, but just not able to get up close with William Byron here currently, who's dominating this racetrack early. And Chris Buescher, a nice race for him thus far. His number 17 Ford Mustang for RFK Racing, currently in 3rd place here as teammates ride 2nd and 3rd here at this racetrack. Ryan Blaney, who restarted 15th, has gained 11 spots since the restart and currently rides around here in 4th place. And also Bubba Wallace, the first Toyota here inside the top 5. Currently 5th in his number 23 Toyota Camry. He's been fast. Also, back-to-back 2nd place finishes for Bubba Wallace. Or I should say top 5 finishes for Bubba Wallace. And here comes his teammate, Tyler Reddick, currently in the 6th place position in his number 45 Toyota
New
Camry.
crew chief.
That McDonald's paint scheme
Already
looks
second.
badass on that car, by the way.
Next in line, 7th place. Now he restarted second and has drifted back quite a bit.
I think a lot of these guys are starting to drift back quite a bit, Kevin. Seeing a lot of guys in trouble.
Yeah, and the worst thing that they want to hear is there's 20 laps more to go. You've kind of made your bet at this point as to what your strategy is going to be. And if you're in trouble, your only goal right now is to not get lapped. Because that switch has flipped, and the cars that are bad are really starting to stick out.
Now Zane Smith has done a good job here. Restarted 10th. He is running 8th for front row in that 1970s Long John Silver paint scheme. That's quite a throwback. And there's Brad. We talked a lot about him. He restarted 15th. He's in 9th place.
And Brad Keselowski currently in 9th place in his number 6 Ford Mustang, which is driving very well here. Brad would not mind a top 10 finish here if he could help it, especially with his other 2 race cars inside the top 3. Austin Cindric currently in 10th in his number 2 Ford Mustang for Penske Racing. Has rode this race car very well, although he's gone from the back to the front now towards that 10th place position here after contending towards the front early on. And now we also are hearing the same thing from Chase Briscoe, who's dropped all the way back to 19th. And I believe he's below the pace here. There must be an issue going on with the number 19 Toyota. And Chase must not be liking the way that car is driving because he's continuing to drop back in loose spots. Chase Briscoe's lost probably about 10, 12 spots since the restart there. And you can see here on the replay, Chase Briscoe just getting lapped and passed by a bunch of cars down the backstretch there. Looks like maybe he might have gotten into the wall a little bit. And now on the inside of the number 2 comes Kyle Busch. As now there's a battle here between him and Austin Cindric. Cindric able to take that 9th place position away from Kyle, and now Kyle wants it back. The number 8 Chevrolet on the inside of the number 2 as they run and run hard here at Darlington. But now we see back here 20th place. Yep, Chase Briscoe still trying to hold on to that number 19 Toyota. It looks very loose. Looks like he could either have a tire down or could have a problem going on with that number 19.
They weren't sure exactly. Well, the start of this race, good on the long run. Wanted to be freed up a little bit to fire off better, so they adjusted on the last stop. Now it's just 2 free guys and giving up a lot of track position.
Well, at this part in the stage, not many comers and a lot of goers. Ty Gibbs restarted 9th and is now back to, it was 26th a moment ago when I started that thought. Now it's 20th.
Yeah, 29th actually there, Mike.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely fallen off the pace, and we see that Briscoe car starting to do the same thing. So really, really difficult portion of the run when you get this far in and your car is not handling well and it sticks out like a sore thumb.
All right, we're going to take you side by side.
All right, guys, so we got 15 laps to go here in stage number 1.
At Darlington.
As William Byron continues to dominate here, now approaching lap traffic. We are side by side here on this commercial break, and whoa, man! William Byron cutting that close, getting around Ty Gibbs there in the number 54 Toyota. And man, William Byron really has a fast race car here because already he's making it up to, I believe, the 30th place guy. He's already put 5 cars 1 lap down here by himself with how fast he's been. Man, I tell you what, that number 24 Chevrolet is very fast. But there's a lot of loose race cars here on the racetrack at Darlington Raceway. We're going to see a lot of big major adjustments here once we get to the end of this stage, which is 13 laps away. We are at lap number 79 of 293, which means now we're 12 laps to go to the end of stage number 1. And we see early on the Ford Mustangs have been good. We've seen the Toyotas very good, but right now a Chevrolet is dominating as the number 24 of William Byron has the fastest race car on the racetrack, no doubt about it. Tough break early on for Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5 Chevrolet. got loose on lap number 4 and got into the interior wall, and he's been knocked out early on, and he will not be able to return to this racetrack. So a DNF for Kyle Larson in the number 5 Chevrolet Racing Team for Hendrick Motorsports. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of other Hendrick Motorsports drivers doing much here, as we see both Alex Bowman, driver of the number 48 Chevrolet, and Chase Elliott, driver of the number 9 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, are riding currently in the 20th, 21st, and 23rd place position. So William Byron definitely with a more dominating car. And guys, Chase Briscoe has got a big issue here. The number 19, his Toyota has fallen back tremendously. He's almost all the way back near 30th after riding inside the top 10 at the start of this restart. And now William Byron caught in a bad spot right in between those two Toyota teammates as Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe both battle it out to stay on the lead lap. And on the inside of William Byron is Carson Hocevar, who's also trying to get himself back on the lead lap as well. And he will get on the inside of William Byron. Oh, Byron gets a little bit loose there, sandwiched in between 3 cars. And oh man, Carson Hocevar gets loose as well and almost gets into the side of the 24, their current leader. And now the number 77 able to just get in front of the leader. A very hard racing here as these guys try to stay on the lead lap ahead of the leader, William Byron. And Byron drops to the inside here. And they go 3 wide in the back of the pack. Man, this is the leader just lapping guys. Oh, and there's Carson Hocevar as we see Riley Herbst hooked the number 77, and now Carson Hocevar has got a couple of flats, and he's got to be pretty pissed at the number 35 Toyota.
Who spun at lap 24 to bring out the second caution of the day. He couldn't go another lap down. He had no chance for a free pass, so what's wrong with that now?
Both tires are flat. I don't think it's as hurt as bad as he thinks. Both front tires flat.
Okay. But he had to run the leader as hard as he could because being 2 laps down had no chance.
And man, that's right. Carson Hocevar, the driver of the 77 Chevrolet, was racing the leader hard here in 36th. He's on the middle lane, gets loose though, and then Riley Herbst on the outside there just catched up on the 77 way too fast, and the 77 collapses right on Riley.
And look at Priest and Buscher right behind him. I mean, they were catching him. It was going to be a matter of a lap. They were going to be on him. That Byron, that is, your leader.
Well, that was quite
and because William Byron was battling for them, the leader almost gets involved in that wreck. But also, Ryan Priest and Chris Buscher were able to get back close to the back bumper of the leader, William Byron, because of that lap traffic.
Well, this has been an odd race right here, guys. This thing has had not much flow. We've seen one long run right there with a lot of cars really tank.
Well, 3 cautions already. We've only had 1 caution in stage 1 in the 3 prior races combined here. 7 laps to go in the stage. We'll probably get back to green before this stage ends.
How's this going to work out, Larry?
Yeah, everybody's got to come. But here's what's going to be interesting. We're going to go back racing to Mike Point before the stage ends. There are going to be guys at the front that's racing for this stage win, for these stage points. If I'm way back in the pack, I'm coming to get my 4 tires and doing exactly what Carson Hocevar did at Miami. I'm going to ride around real nice and easy and then stay out at the stage end.
All right, guys, so we're under caution here at lap 86, I believe.
Well, that's what makes these stages so
on lap 85 with 6 laps to go here in stage number 1. So now we'll see how pitch strategy plays a big part in this one here for these NASCAR Cup Series teams.
The front are going to want the points if they can get them.
I was so impressed with that late run speed out of the RFK cars. All 3 of them. Look, Keselowski come all the way from, I think, 13th up there to the top 7. Both 2311 cars, Reddick and Wallace are fast. RFK back on it again.
So now you want stage points Or as Larry said, do you want to roll around to the end of the stage? What do you want to do here?
Well, I definitely want my tires.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want a good pit stop. Get me back out front of that clean air that I had if I'm William Byron.
And it is, I can't even explain to you how much of a handful these cars are deep into the run like that. That is, as a driver, you just want to get out.
All right, pit
So
road
now
to
we
the
will
next
see
car.
the leader come into pit.
And here come the lead lap cars.
And here come the rest of the lead lap cars here.
Ryan Blaney, it has been 5 long races that he has not finished inside the top 10. They just wanted to come in here and have a solid day, and so far, they have accomplished that. Overall, he says the balance is better. Wants to be just a hair tighter, so they'll make a small air pressure adjustment. 4 tires for the 12 machine.
So it looks like all these drivers are going to probably get 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and that's going to put them with, I believe, 4 more sets of Goodyear tires for the rest of this race, maybe 5. Each team gets only 9 sets of fresh sticker tires. Oh, and Ryan Preece with a nice pit stop there. But William Byron still able to win the race off of pit road. Bubba Wallace, though, he gains 3 spots on pit road, and he'll be the big winner after those sets of pit stops there. Nice. Nice pit stop there for the number 23 Toyota team. And after that caution was brought out, where Carson Hocevar, driver of the number 77 Chevrolet, and Riley Herbst, driver of the number 35 Toyota, got into it there into the wall, and that puts us under caution here. We'll be close to the end of stage number 1 coming up here soon, guys, in just a few laps. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, baby, baby. Oops, I did it again. All right, guys, so we'll try to get you an update here on the top 5 and top 10 before we get on this restart here after those sets of pit stops. All right, so William Byron still in the lead. Ryan Preece in second. In the number 60 Ford Mustang, that number 24 Chevrolet is William Byron in the lead currently. Ryan Preece in second. Bubba Wallace in the number 23 Toyota now moves up into third after gaining a few spots on pit road. Chris Buescher, who will come out in 4th place in the number 17 Ford Mustang. Tyler Reddick, the teammate of Bubba Wallace, comes out 5th in the number 45 Toyota. Ryan Blaney will restart in 6th. And the number 12 Ford Mustang, Brad Keselowski, and the number 6 Ford Mustang will restart 7th. Zane Smith and the number 38 Ford Mustang will restart 8th. Austin Cindric in the number 2 Ford Mustang will restart in 9th. And Joey Logano in his number 22 Ford Mustang will restart 10th. Here, as we come back to Darlington Raceway near the end of stage number 1.
Here, you're gonna get a stripe or 2, and you just have to manage your car. You can only get so many.
If you do get a Darlington stripe off of turn 2, it generally ruins your day.
But you know, eventually, when it comes down to crunch time, that last run of the race, you're gonna have to put it all out there.
That's what Darlington's all about, and the Darlington stripe.
Stripe count up to 15 today.
And the drivers are right, as our Darlington stripe count is up to 15 along the walls here around this racetrack.
To get through these final couple of laps of stage 1, interesting strategy. Ross Chastain went from 9th to 20th on that stop. Here's the Hunt Brothers Pizza Cam for Joey Logano. His number 22, they will fire off 10th. Austin,
all right, we're getting ready to go back racing here, guys, at Darlington Raceway.
They will go 14th. 13th on this restart.
As we get ready for this restart, guys, don't forget to please hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show.
In stage number 2, that's the Advent Health Cam. And the Weather Tech Cam for Shane Van Gisbergen will restart 24th. 35 cars on the lead lap. Carson Hocevar is 3 laps down as we go back.
And here we go back racing here at Darlington Raceway as William Byron pulls ahead in the lead in his number 24 Chevrolet. And we got some good clean racing, although we got it 3 wide back near 10th place. And oh man, we got some contact. Oh man, almost had 2 cars get into the wall there. I believe one of those is Joey Logano in the number 22 Ford Mustang. And I'm not sure who the other car is, but we're going to find out. But Bubba Wallace right now is driving on the outside of Ryan Preece as he tries to take away that top 2 spot. And on the outside, that 23 Toyota Camry battles the number 60 Ford Mustang. Ryan Preece not letting him have any leadway here, riding the very side of that car. And loose is Bubba Wallace coming out of the exit of that turn there at number 2. Down the back stretch. And as we enter into turn number 3, Bubba Wallace goes way up on the high side, almost gets into the wall, and now we're 3 wide on the exit of number 4. Oh, man. And there we go. The winner of stage number 1 is William Byron. And oh, man, a lot of competitive racing there at the end of that stage. And William Byron will get the big stage points there for the number 24 Hendrick Motorsports Chevy Racing Team. All right, there we go, chat. All up to date for you guys. Thanks for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please don't forget, guys, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, still on commercial break, waiting to come back here for this NASCAR Cup Series live play-by-play here on Tim Reynolds Show. Let's go.
At the end of stage 1, William Byron has led every single lap so far. Now here are your pit crew rankings coming in to Darlington.
And coming in, pit crew rankings here. The number 23 team is first. The number 11 team is second. The number 99 team is third. And the number 54 team is fourth.
In our race day show, and he specifically mentioned Bubba Wallace's pit crew and how great of a job they're doing this year. They've been ranked number 1 since the Homestead race. So let's meet Team 23.
And we see Team 23, that 23 Toyota, has had a fast pit crew all year long, as they rank right now the top pit crew in NASCAR since Homestead Miami Speedway. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Guys, don't forget to please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and sign up. We have memberships now available on Tim Reynolds Show on my YouTube channel, so make sure you guys check those out as well if you guys want to sign up.
Our video tribute to the leading pit crew in the Cup Series right now. Michael Jordan looking on as his 3 teams perform here at Darlington.
Well, that 23 team specifically right there, they've done a great job this year. You see how much fun those team guys are having. You hear how low-key and confident Bubba Wallace is. Great to see.
And that team has gained 6 positions on pit road on the stops so far today. Getting the job done. The AMR safety crew work there. A little bit of debris up on the racetrack that they will pick up.
And the crew is still trying to pick up some debris here on this caution. After stage number 1, we'll get back racing here soon, guys.
That on the restart just rolled around. One of them, Eric Jones, you needed an hourglass to time him. He ran about 38 seconds on that last lap trying to keep the goodie in those tires. So those drivers were Stenhouse, Herbst, Austin Hill, Nemechek, Gibbs, and Cody Ware. Did not stop, just kind of rolled around to finish things out. And, of course, Eric Jones, who did get tires along with Ty Dillon, but they just rolled around slow to finish out the stage. Interesting strategy.
So we'll see a couple other cars make some pit stops here before we get back going after stage 1 winner William Byron, who dominated the first part of this race, leading every single lap here of the first 90 laps here in stage number 1. And what's also very interesting, we're only at the end of stage number 1. We still got stage number 2 and 3 left to go. And drivers are already down almost half of their sets of sticker tires. So not a whole lot, of new sets of tires for a lot of drivers here early on in this race. But we'll see what it means going forward, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Man, so many commercials. Enough of the commercials, man. Do 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 do. La da 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 cha 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 cha. Hey ya da da da. Ba da 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 da. Hey, here we go. Oh, hanging out on Tim Reynolds Show. Hey, don't you know? Hey, don't you know? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Old open air press box.
And here we go. We're about to go back here racing at Darlington Raceway, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on the channel.
Cloud cover, it's cooled off a bit. I know Not a lot of the drivers complaining about the heat like we had earlier, but talk about it's not nearly as hot as it was back in 1983 here. It was really hot.
Yeah, just how hot was it?
Well, yes, it was so hot that Bobby Allison cut a hole in his roof to cool off, and it later taped. He won the race, and then he won the championship. Drivers complained, but drivers have a different way of cooling off now. But right now, we're keeping an eye on the hot drivers, William Byron, and he's got flames on the car. It's not hotter than that.
Yeah, Byron's been on a roll here. I'll tell you, though, earlier today, who couldn't handle the heat is the two softies that we have in the booth, Clint and Kevin. We gave them this opportunity to go for a ride in a couple of Wood Brother cars. And those two guys, they ran 2 laps, Chris. It looked like they jumped in a pool. It's a really sad shape that booth's in right now.
I think they'll be in better shape when they finish this race. Back to Mike and the guys who were in the car back in the booth. We always enjoyed your years in the cars, by the way. You're just as good in the booth.
Thanks, Chris. I think you really left us hanging. But here we go.
And man, these throwback paint schemes this weekend have been so cool.
They have enjoyed here at Darlington Raceway. A couple of storied careers. Richard, of course, included 200 victories.
And Richard and Kyle Petty also have had a bunch of good history here at Darlington. And there they are in the booth, man. That's so cool.
This has been for you. I know good memories, not all good memories, but some really great ones, right?
Well, we won 2 or 3 races here, but it was always one of my favorite tracks, really, because it was so much different. You know, used to when the 1 and 2 corner down here was a 1-groove track. Darlington Strike came from.
There he is, the king, Richard Petty.
Thank you. They talking about hot. They ought to come down here in the 50s and 60s. No air conditioning, no nothing. And, you know, we had some Yankees come down here. And
that's people from up north. For people that don't know.
Yeah. That's what I get right. And everybody was doing this. They thought, look at this friendly crowd. They're trying to get the gnats away. That's
swat fly. Is it true you used to put like a 4x4 or a railroad tie inside the car to keep it from all getting busted in from the fence?
I think we might have tried that a time or two, and then we just finally just made some roll bars to put around there. So, you know, it was one of those deals where 1 and 2 corner, you're going to run the wall no matter what. So you just went ahead and made arrangements for it.
And that's right. Richard Petty talked about all these guys rode the wall as hard as they could here at Darlington. It's kind of the way you have to race this racetrack.
Because the track is so similar to what you guys did, but the speed is different.
Speed is different. That's crazy. When they came here the first time, when my granddad come here, they run 80 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. They'd run 170 or 80 miles an hour sometimes. So there's just no room. There's no room for error.
Oh, and here we go. The pit car has gone to the pits. The pace car, I should say.
Then we're back into 3 and 4 in the Darlington Strike.
And here we go. We're back racing here for stage number 2 at Darlington Raceway for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series. And William Byron once again pulls away with the lead. A nice restart there. And oh, the number 45 Toyota, Tyler Reddick, got loose. And that stacked up a lot of drivers. Man, we're 3 wide all the way near the back of the pack. Looks like Noah Grayson gets split in between 2 cars. Teammates number 3 and number 8, Chevrolets, both Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch, able to get around the number 4. And now Austin Dillon on the inside of Joey Logano, and he's going to take away that spot inside the top 11 from Joey Logano. But Logano battles right back as that number 22 Ford Mustang retakes the 11th place position. And now Danny will take away a top 10 spot from AJ Allmendinger with that big run there from Joey Logano.
That's a car that never was able to get it back.
Yeah, and we've seen all of those Gibbs cars have.
And now Ryan Blaney up near the front, battling with Tyler Reddick inside the top 5. He's got a fast number 12 Ford Mustang, but we'll have to see what he's able to do here. Oh, and here comes Chris Buescher, who also has another fast car, but had to make a later pit stop than everybody else, which is why he came back out in the 6th place here. And now Bubba Wallace here is catching up to the leader, William Byron, a fast race car in that number 23 Toyota Camry. And Bubba Wallace likes it, man. Really finding some nice speed on the top part of this racetrack, right up against the wall. William Byron is the leader right now, but Bubba Wallace is the faster car.
trouble getting through traffic there at the end, but getting to
And right now, Ryan Blaney is ranked as the highest passer here early on. Right now, currently in the top 5. And right now, defensive ranking, William Byron, Joey Logano, and Kyle Larson all inside the top 3. But Larson, unfortunately, has been knocked out of this race already.
All right, Eric Jones, we mentioned, rolled around to save those tires. And here he is in the Advent Health number 43, the Check It for Andretti scheme. And Richard, the Petty Blue and the STP Red, you know, now it looks really great, but when that first happened, how'd that look together?
Well, we had to get used to it, okay? One thing about the colors, no matter where that car is at, the big crowd.
And the throwback number 43 paint scheme there for Legacy Motor Club, Richard Petty's racing team.
He was to begin with. When we sat down and talked to him to begin with, he thought he was going to be tough. But he never run up against the Petty crowd.
Yeah. It was a negotiating point. We'll give you the car in Petty Blue for one color, but you can put your orange on it for a bigger number.
Oh, okay.
Kyle, Throwback Weekend always brings out these paint schemes. You've watched it, you've lived it your whole life. I mean, throwback life, right? And what's your favorite out here this weekend?
Listen, Pierce or the Wood brothers always bring their A game. They are hands down the team, no matter what they come with, whether it's something Pearson did, whether it's just Jim Clark color scheme. They just come with uniforms. They come all the way through. They live for this weekend. So for me, hands down, in their 75th year, congratulations to those guys being here with that car.
Yeah, that's my winner right there. British Racing Green, Lotus Yellow. They had to get approval from the Chapman family that owned Lotus to duplicate the Jim Clark Indy winner from 1965.
Oh, wow. So the Jim Clark Indy winner from 1965 Indianapolis 500 paint scheme, that's what inspired the new paint scheme on the number 21 Ford Mustang for Josh Berry. That's pretty cool.
Did you ever drive an Indy car?
No, I went up there one time and one of Ford's cars, and so I was going to get in the car, and Ford said, "Man, you got to take them boots off. Here's a size 7 shoe. Okay, you got to put that. That's how close the clutch and the brakes and everything." I said, "Forget it." You know, I made sure.
Can't wear my boots. I ain't driving.
I made sure there wasn't no motor in the car.
And his boots are 12. Just go ahead and say that. Yeah. So it's a half size for him.
Yeah, 12 wasn't going to fit into a 7.
Tyler Reddick now at second. 0.6 of a second behind William Byron. Bubba Wallace to third. Ryan Preece fourth. Ryan Blaney in fifth.
And as the boss, that's always a good feeling when you see both of your cars running good. That's when you know you've got your organization put together and the details and dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And we've seen a massive change out of Bubba Wallace and just the way that he approaches everything this year. Tyler Reddick, you know, we thought that he would be in contention today. We've thought that a few times this year as we've gone through some of these races. Hasn't really had the speed, but today he definitely has the speed.
Now, Kyle Petty's
so now we see here Bubba Wallace continues to hold on to a top 5 spot, but his teammate Tyler Reddick has able to get past him and now has the second place spot there, the number 45 Toyota. And Toyotas are racing pretty strong here at Darlington Raceway. Right now, Bubba Wallace in the number 23 Toyota has dropped back into third. Ryan Preece is in the 4th place position, and his number 60 Ford Mustang. And now we see in the back there, Denny Hamlin battling with the number 43 Toyota there. As the 43 takes that spot away from Denny Hamlin, it's Eric Jones who's able to move up into that 15th place position. And we see Alex Bowman, driver of the number 48 Chevrolet, is in the back of the pack in his throwback scheme, a throwback to Jimmy Johnson's paint scheme back in 2008. And now we see on the inside of the 23 comes Ryan Preece. And that number 60 Ford Mustang is going to try to give Bubba Wallace a run for his money for that 3rd place position. But we also see near the front, Tyler Reddick is making his way towards the back bumper of William Byron, who's led all 111 laps here at Darlington Raceway. Tyler Reddick's got a fast 45 Toyota, and his Camry will look to take the lead away from William Byron in his number 24 Chevrolet. And Tyler Reddick really staying close to that outside wall. And now we see Ryan Blaney's on the inside of Ryan Preece coming down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Ryan Blaney takes away that top 4 spot away from Ryan Preece. A nice move there. Some very good racing from Ryan Blaney. The number 12 Ford Mustang looks fast, folks. And now he'll look to attack his friend, Bubba Wallace, and try to take away a top 3 spot from the number 23 Toyota. But some very nice racing here early on as William Byron continues to lead this race at Darlington Raceway. We see Ryan Blaney is also one of those drivers with a fast race car with this number 12 Ford Mustang, looking like a guy who's going to get up towards the front. Right now, Tyler Reddick, driver of the number 45 Toyota, is in second, trying to get to the back bumper of William Byron in his number 24 Chevrolet. And Bubba Wallace has had a fast car all day, but now with this long green flag run, could Bubba Wallace's 23 Toyota start to fall back here? We'll see, because he's going to have a big battle on his hands with Ryan Blaney, who's currently 4th in his number 12 Ford Mustang. Hell yeah, let's go, Army Vet in the chat. That's my dog, hell yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Boom, 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 wow, wow. Cheers, everybody. Hope you're having an awesome NASCAR race day. Hell yeah. So pretty good racing here early on. Pretty clean racing as well. Not a whole lot of cautions at this point. All right, we got some more racing going on next week for the NASCAR Cup Series as they'll be heading to Bristol Motor Speedway. And oh man, that's where we see a lot of bumping and racing, baby. And now we're back here at Darlington Raceway, and William Byron can see somebody finally in his rearview mirror as we see Tyler Reddick has pulled that number 45 Toyota Camry near the back bumper of William Byron, who's been the leader here all race long, and he's gotten closer and closer, lap after lap, just cutting into that lead over the leader, William Byron.
You're going to start using your tires more. I heard you say moving around, going where he's not. That's going to be harder on your tires.
And the commentators are talking about tire wear and how much is Tyler Reddick really going to try to wear those tires out to get the lead away from William Byron, or will he try to conserve those tires to keep this green flag run as long as it may go good for him?
This is his crew chief, his team. They have completely rebuilt the front end of this race car. Meanwhile, the driver, he's been in the car with the window net up, watching the race on his phone. Their full intentions are to get back out there.
That's a racer for you.
Yep, there is no more damaged vehicle policy clock when cars are in the garage. They can work on them and return the race like we used to do.
Yeah, well, you can return to the race, but you have a few laps to run minimum speed. That's why they're taking so much time on that car to try to get it correct. So when it goes on the racetrack, Kyle can be competitive in order to stay out there.
Speaking to get it correct, I'm glad that they corrected that rule. I like the fact that you can go back out there with this car. It's more bolt-on.
So it's nice to see some of the crew still working hard. Kyle Larson, who got knocked out of this race after lap number 4, his pit crew's been working hard on that car. They have rebuilt the front end of that car, and now Kyle Larson's intention is to get back out there and run as many laps as he can. And the reason why this is so important, guys, is for the point standings in the NASCAR Cup Series. You want to finish as many laps as you can to earn as many points as you can.
And it's also a great team building experience. Not only for the guy that has to sit in the car that wrecked it, but for those guys to show him that they're going to fix the car and work together to if you make up one spot throughout the day, that makes that work pay off.
There's Richards, number 43, currently in 14th spot. The RFK cars are now 4th, 5th, and 6th behind Reddick and Blaney. Byron continues to lead this race the most any driver has ever led from the start of any Darlington race. Richard, I want to go back to 1970.
So we hear that William Byron has now led more laps than any other driver here in NASCAR Cup Series history to start the race here at Darlington Raceway.
Into the wall in your Plymouth, and boy, knocked the wall down. Yeah, and more than that, there's Richard hanging out the left side of the car. Fortunately, not badly injured, but what that led to, what did your mom do after that happened?
Well, I think made some winter net, okay? And I think we run winter nets at California, Riverside. But that wasn't mandatory anywhere else. And once we did that, then Mother said, this is going to work. So then NASCAR adapted the winter net, and now every racing organization in the world, I guess, run winter nets. But it took something like that, spectacular idea, to really sink in for the safety picture.
I heard she took a tennis net and then put a hem on it and put it all together. Is that true?
We had some stuff that was...
That's so cool. Richard Petty's mom was the one who led the way for NASCAR to have protective netting back in the day before we had like these barriers and everything else they put on interior walls at racetracks. After Richard Petty got into a really, really bad wreck, his mom didn't like that. So that's really cool how far in safety NASCAR's really come since then. And oh man, we got a new driver in 3rd place here as Ryan Blaney has now moved up into 3rd in that number 12 Ford Mustang, getting around the number 60 of Ryan Preece.
Yeah, down there on the apron.
And on these long green flag runs, looks like Ryan Blaney's car, his number 12 Ford Mustang, continues to get stronger and stronger as we go on here on this green flag run. 58 laps to go here in stage number 2.
We went back racing with 87 laps to go. If you split it down the middle, you'll run the lap 140. Now we know Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, they're notorious for splitting it right in half. But I think once we cross here at about 4 to 5 laps, you'll see some of them start to come early. At this track, once 1 or 2 hits, you better not be far behind.
It may happen as they're catching these lap cars, too. I talked about that earlier, being an opportunity for these guys to run that leader down. But I'm seeing Reddick falling back from the leader, Byron, as Blaney catches Reddick. Got a new problem at hand.
Denny Hamlin's Toyota.
So it looks like Tyler Reddick now is starting to drop back from the leader a little bit as his car starts to wear off and fall off just a little bit here, like a lot of cars are here with this long green flag run, as we do approach the time for green flag pit stops here with 56 laps to go in stage number 2. Ryan Blaney right near the back bumper of Tyler Reddick, looking to take away that number 2 place position.
Regan?
Well, Mike, just to update Bubba Wallace losing a couple positions right here. since that restart, as you mentioned. I just had to listen closely to his radio. Most guys, or many guys, getting loose at this stage of the run, but Bubba is actually asking for help with a little bit of tight on exit. As that said a couple times now, said that the biggest issue I've got, I can't finish the corner because I lose the nose. So maybe on a day when so many cars are very, very loose right now, not a bad thing to have to adjust for a little bit tight.
Yeah, and when you run up near the wall like that, as we see Ryan Blaney's on pit road. Just like
third place.
Yeah, just like you talked about, Clint, just getting in one lap before. That'll most likely, as long as everything goes well on pit road, allow him to leapfrog Tyler Reddick.
Well, and the other reason I like that is we were starting to catch these lap
And
cars.
now we see green flag pit stops are underway here. Ryan Blaney
With Byron.
is one of the first drivers in to make it into the pits here. And we'll see what happens after this new set of green flag pit stops.
Green flag stops we've had today.
And this is the second time we'll see green flag pit stops, as Tyler Reddick also makes his pit stop here to get new set of Goodyear tires and some fuel in that car.
Michael McDowell, Riley Herbst. Larry, if you're the leader and people are getting new tires, how long do you dare stay out there?
I think they've got to come right away. But as I said, you get some drivers, and again, Hamlin and Keselowski are notorious for taking advantage of those fresh tires on the second run and running it right to the halfway point.
Yeah, if he pits right now, he's not going to be the leader anymore.
All right, William Byron's got to make a decision on when he's going to come to pit here soon, as a lot of these drivers now cycle through their green flag pit stops. Who will come out as the new leader after all these pit stops are made? That is the question.
Cole Custer is in. Keselowski done. Gregson finished.
And this is one of the better pit lanes that NASCAR has on the circuit this year. Pretty easy for these drivers to get in and out of. A pretty wide pit lane as well. And 52 laps to go here in stage number 2. William Byron still staying out with the lead.
As we watch William Byron continue to lead this race and stay out, we assume that he's going to split this stage in half. We saw a lot of this happen at Homestead, and
Oh, and we see Brad Keselowski gets loose on the racetrack with 51 laps to go. No caution is out, though.
Pit road.
Yeah, I think you're right. Caution does not wave.
He's got a record flag.
Yes.
Toe links bent.
And Brad Keselowski, who just made a pit stop, looks like he got into the wall, and now he's got a flat tire out.
Whoa, Zane Smith lucky to get by.
Looks like that tire just went for Brad Keselowski.
The tire's down. The other thing that I see is damage on that right rear. Hard to tell when that happened.
Oh, and he got into the side of the number 38 Ford Mustang as well. And that's a tough break there for Brad Keselowski.
Oh, look at there. You see the nut off the wheel right there.
Oh, wheel come off. You said it, Larry.
And those are brand new tires, and it looks like they were not able to get that back right tire on good enough for Brad Keselowski's team, and that's going to cost him. But talk about a big break for William Byron, though, as the caution does not come out, but Byron has yet to make a pit stop yet. And it looks like a lot of these drivers are trying to cut this stage in half when it comes to fuel or tires, I expect.
Crew chief of William Byron told me several weeks ago, we won the Daytona 500. We got a bigger playbook to work with. We've already got a win.
Good point. Caution.
And we do have a caution come out with 48 laps to go here in stage number 2. And now this is either going to hurt or help William Byron.
And the 43 is now come to pit road.
Well,
Reddick and Blaney had unlapped themselves on those fresh tires.
You know what I love? Once a racer, always a racer. Did you hear Richard right there? We made it pit road. That's all he sees out there is that 43
You saw
car.
that's going to put you in a good spot when all these guys have to pit right here.
You know, honestly, even all those cars that had pitted a few laps before, they've already got a number of laps on their tires. That is not going to work out well.
No, not at all, Larry.
And now with the caution flag out, 47 laps to go here in stage number 2. We're on lap 139 of 293 to go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. As we see, William Byron has led 138 laps today, all of them, which is the most all-time to start a Darlington race. Congratulations to William Byron, as that number 24 Chevrolet looks very fast here early on in the NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway.
Now let's go back to Keselowski in that pit stop.
So hard to tell right there. And you can see the wheel nut fly off of this thing right as this car is spinning out. Right, oop, I got my pin upside down right there. That's the nut that holds the wheel on. And there it is.
Tough break for a really good car.
And that is a tough break for Brad Keselowski, as his number 6 Ford Mustang was definitely one of the faster Fords on the racetrack today. But now with him almost losing a tire, yeah.
Trying to operate up here.
Well,
what's up, Big E?
Because last year on leaving, you said, I don't know what race you guys were watching, but it's been a pretty good one for the 43 so far.
Yeah, the big deal is when I'm sitting here and see what I see on TV, and the race is really back about 15th or 20th, them guys, they drive their fanny off every lap. I mean, they're really racing back there, but, you know, it's, if you're here, you can see that. You can't see it.
And thanks for hanging out, Big E. And yeah, I do care about who Tampa's going to get in the draft right now. I'm really predicting it's either going to be a pass rusher or a linebacker, or a combination of both. Either a outside linebacker that's also a good pass rusher, or someone to help out the defensive line depth. For me, I'm probably looking at linebacker. I think is going to be their go-to position in the first round, but we'll see what they're able to do throughout the draft. Right now, maybe even adding another weapon at wide receiver, also some offensive line depth, and also cornerback depth could be very important. But the two positions of need for the Bucs heading into this draft are the offense, or I should say defensive line and linebacker. And William Byron here, the leader, making his pit stop here on this caution. A nice clean pit stop for the number 24. And oh man, he just barely beats Joey Logano off of pit road. A nice fast stop there for William Byron. Danny Hamlin and Chase Elliott were able to gain a spot on pit road, and Ty Gibbs also gains 2 spots on pit road. There as we exit here in the middle of stage number 2 for this 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on the channel. Please make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show on YouTube for more NASCAR live play-by-play here in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Hey, we ain't doing too bad. 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 Just feeling good, like I should. When took a walk around this neighborhood, feeling blessed. I got no stress, and the sun shining on my Sunday best. Who is your pick, guys, to win at Darlington Raceway? Come on, racing fans. I want to know what you guys think, man. Hell yeah, we got Tom in the chat, man. Hell yeah, dude. Denny Hamlin definitely has a chance. He's already raced pretty good here early on here at Darlington. He had to go into the back, actually made a pit stop early when we had a caution come out with 4 laps in when Kyle Larson unfortunately got into the wall and his number 5 Chevy. And we see Denny Hamlin came in and pitted early to get another new set of tires, and he's been able to work his way from the back to the front. I think currently right now Denny Hamlin is somewhere inside the top 15, between 10th and 15th, I believe, possibly between 10th and 20th is where Denny Hamlin currently is, I believe. After these round of pit stops, we're waiting to see who comes out with the lead here on this next restart. You know I got it. If you wanna come get it, stand next to this money like, hey, hey, hey.
Greg Biffle won twice here at Darlington, drove the pace car for.
So guys, currently trying to figure out what who's the new leader here after those round of pit stops there.
Victories. He is a nominee for the NASCAR Hall of Fame and joins us here in the booth. Had a great lengthy discussion last night about rules and short track racing and stuff you're doing with Cletus McFarland, and wow, looks like you are having a ball.
Well, that conversation was at the bar, and you kind of look like, well, you never left the bar.
Yeah, I know. I lost my sleeve. No, it was fun. We had a great conversation. I'm sitting there after drink, having a beer, and on our way back to the hotel, and we had a great discussion about all the rules. I think we got it all figured out. I hope so.
Speaking of fun, boy, you've been having a lot of fun lately.
I have. I've been having a
So
lot
it
of
looks
fun.
like currently
Been,
William Byron is
3,500
listed
Friday
as
night
the
and,
leader.
doing
Joey
some
Logano
stuff
is
on
in
YouTube
second
videos
behind
and
him.
having
Danny
fun with
Hamlin
Cletus.
in third.
That's good. When you
Christopher
come back to
Bell in
Darlington, you always
fourth.
rate
And
for
Josh
Bell
Berry
well
in
here.
fifth.
You've been
Alex
back here
Bowman in
several
sixth.
times.
Ty
What do you see
Gibbs
out of these
in
cars
seventh.
today's
Austin Dillon in
NASCAR
eighth.
world?
And Chase Briscoe in ninth. And Austin Hill making his Cup Series, returning to the Cup Series in the number 33 here is in 10th. And here we go. We're back racing here at Darlington Raceway. And William Byron pulls ahead with the lead, but now he's got some more competition. And Joey Logano goes to the inside here in turn number 1. That number 22 Ford Mustang is fast, but that number 24 Chevy pulls away with the lead once again. And now we got a bunch of new cars up near the front, including Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Josh Berry, rounding out the top 5 here as Josh Berry goes on the outside of Christopher Bell and takes away the 4th place spot. And now Denny Hamlin up near 3rd, trying to get to the back bumper of Joey Logano here in this race.
Best throwback paint scheme, the Wood Brothers, and that Jim Clark Indy winning number 21. Love it.
And a lot of badass throwback paint schemes here for these NASCAR Cup Series cars. As we see closer to the back of the pack, Ryan Blaney able to get around Chase Briscoe with ease. And that number 12 Ford Mustang looks fast as he tries to make his way back up towards the front, currently in 10th place. And Christopher Bell's able to get in front of Josh Berry, and now the driver who was struggling with his car early on in this race, now Christopher Bell has his car inside the top 4. That number 20 Toyota Camry looks like it's found its grip and its speed here. And we're 3 wide back for 23rd place as the number 23 Toyota Bubba Wallace threads the needle, and he's able to get around the number 2 Mustang of Austin Cindric. And now we see here a lot more rubber is starting to be shown on the racetrack. And now we see Ryan Blaney on the inside of Alex Bowman, able to take away that 8th place, I should say, yeah, that 8th place position there from the 48. And Alex Bowman with a nice bounce back here, able to get that 48 back to the front of the field after driving near the back for most of this race. Right behind him is Tyler Reddick. That number 45 Toyota has been fast all day, but he's got to work his way back up towards the front now here after this restart.
It's pretty cool when you can.
And what's going on, Charles? The number 9 car of Chase Elliott is currently in 13th. Just dropped down to the 14th place position. He is having a pretty off day thus far.
Like they have some of the best. You know, throughout the years, the Motorcraft car and all those other things. It seems like they do it the best with the crew uniforms and all.
And Ryan Blaney's paint scheme is inspired by his father's 2006 Infinity Racing paint scheme. Oh, and we got a car into the wall. The number 54 of Ty Gibbs adds another Darlington stripe here at this racetrack. But we stay green as Ty Gibbs, currently riding in the 6th place position, is trying to hold on to that fast number 54 Toyota.
Car looks great, and it's running up front.
Always look better up front.
Well, let's talk about who's running up front. I mean, new line.
And yeah, let's talk about who's running up front. William Byron still dominating this race, but now he's got to contend with the defending Cup Series champion, Joey Logano, who's been able to get that number 22 Ford Mustang, that car, back up near the front. Danny Hamlin, who's always a threat here at Darlington, had been struggling most of the day, but now he brings that number 11 Toyota up near 3rd, and his teammate Christopher Bell is right behind him in 4th. Another teammate, Ty Gibbs, is in 6th as well. So we see Joe Gibbs, 3 of their 4 rides are inside the top 10 currently, with Chase Briscoe right outside the top 10 in the 11th place position in his number 19 Toyota Camry.
For Gilliland, Ray Fox Sr., nominee to the NASCAR Hall of Fame in past years, great mechanic and car owner, 4 generations of Foxes working in NASCAR. Great grandson is changing tires. His grandson has been a car chief and mechanic. Oh, yeah.
Well, that right there, Greg, is one thing that has changed. There weren't too many times that somebody would stick on the outside of your right rear quarter panel when you were driving the cars. It just, you couldn't make it happen. The cars would spin out.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. And I was all just in stuff there when I was watching them come off the corner. It's these cars will stick there, but that's a tough drive.
And one thing that's really different with these Gen 7 cars compared to the cars that we're talking about, they just don't get as loose underneath each other. They don't lose all the air off the side of the car and off the rear deck and spoiler there. So that's been one thing that's been kind of good about the Gen 7 cars. You can run side by side a lot easier and not spin out.
Yeah, more underbody aero keeps the cars not as sensitive. 33 laps to go in stage number 2.
And yeah, guys, we are at 32 laps to go here in stage number 2 as we head to another commercial break here at lap 154 of 293 here at Darlington Raceway. It's been a very, very consistent race for William Byron, who has the lead here currently. Yeah, and you're right about that, Charles. It does seem like Chase Elliott and that number 9 Chevy racing team for Hendrick Motorsports, their pit crew and them never seem to be on the same page. They've been struggling a little bit today, especially in the pits. All right, chat, we're here on another commercial break here for this 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race at Darlington Raceway. And welcome to Tim Reynolds Show's live play-by-play for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series. Thank you guys so much for hanging out on the channel. Please don't forget, guys, to hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. Let's go! All right, we're back here, guys, with 27 laps to go here in stage number 2.
Happy 75th to Darlington Raceway. There's a look at the lead. Byron, Logano, Hamlin, Bell, Berry, the top 5. Ryan Blaney has slipped to 6th, and we'll show you why here.
Oh, and Ryan Blaney got really loose during that commercial break and got into the wall in Darlington hard coming out of turn number 4. And somehow he's still in this race here in the 6th place position. And there's 23 on the strap count. Or I should say the stripe count here.
And the lap times and the data will show it is that totalling's bent. That'll be a major setback for them, not only on the racetrack this run, but it'll take a long time to fix it.
So Blaney in 6th, right behind.
And now Ryan Blaney's going to try to hold on to his 6th place spot. And man, getting that loose and into the wall that hard, I am surprised Ryan Blaney is still as fast as he is currently. And right behind him is Ty Gibbs, who has worked his way up into the 7th place position here. And that number 54 Toyota Camry looks fast here at Darlington.
Now that Ty Dillon scheme is something their sponsor came up with. It throws back to a Busch Series car that they had back in the day. Beaver Street Foods, that is Patty Moise, who was a very good Busch Series driver. And that was her sponsor. Now they're on Ty Dillon's car.
And Ty Dillon with a nice run here in his number 10 Chevrolet. Currently in 8th place here at Darlington. A nice run here for Ty Dillon.
And it has cooled down a lot.
And also riding along here with Eric Jones, who's racing on the inside of Chase Briscoe, trying to take away that number 11th place position from the number 19 Toyota. And he will get alongside and pass Chase Briscoe as we're starting to see some cloud cover here over the racetrack. And that's definitely going to change the effect of this racetrack, the grip of the racetrack as well, as it starts to cool it down. But will William Byron start to cool down? Because it doesn't look like it, folks. William Byron has been dominating this race throughout its entirety, leading all laps here thus far.
5 Darlington races finished no better than 4th, and mostly
wow.
The top 10.
And in the last 5 races here, the driver that has led the most laps has finished outside the top 25 4 of those 5 times, with only one other driver finishing inside the top 4, and that was Kyle Larson, who led 263 laps at this racetrack and ended up finishing 4th. So this race is never over till it's over.
Maybe being a little bit too tight to very loose. That's what it was the last long run that we had right now since we went green about 22 laps in. So let's keep an eye on what takes place and if they've made gains on that point.
And that's just what happens in this car. Even if you have a tight condition, the right rear tire at this racetrack, it drives off the right rear tire. You have to take care of it. Even if you're pushing, the right rear tire is gonna wear off the car. And like we talked earlier, a lot of these cars just tank.
Greg, right along here with Denny Hamlin. Take me around this place. You've been around it just as much as we have.
Yeah. And now we're seeing Josh Berry get close to the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. As they ride along with Denny Hamlin, you're seeing a lot of movement in that steering wheel from the driver, Denny Hamlin, as that number 11 Toyota looks like it's just a little loose in the corner as Hamlin really has to play with that steering wheel in the middle of the corner. And Josh Berry's taking advantage of that as he's definitely close to getting that third place position away from the number 11. And here comes Josh Berry right on the inside of Denny Hamlin at the exit of turn number 4. And as we come down the front stretch, Josh Berry unfortunately can't make it and can't finish that pass on Denny Hamlin, so he'll remain there in the 4th place spot in his number 21 Ford Mustang. And a lot of these drivers, including Josh Berry, really driving that car hard to the back wall and then diving it down to the bottom of the corner as he does so here in turn number 3. As he tries to pull alongside Hamlin's number 11 Toyota, Danny really able to pull that car away at the exit of the corner coming down the front stretch.
And I needed to be, right?
And now 17 laps to go. It's nice to see Kyle Larson back on this racetrack. 160 laps down, but hey, able to get back on the racetrack here and get a good finish.
Here's what happened back at lap 4.
And a lot of people would be asking, why would you do this? Why would you want to go back out on the racetrack and run around 160 laps down? Well, I'll tell you why. They lost the regular season championship last year by 1 point, so pretty easy math.
Yep.
Remember, this is where we come back and start the playoffs, too, in September. They wanted to put pages in their notebook.
And that's a good point there the commentators are pointing out. Reason Kyle Larson's back out there, this is the racetrack where we will start the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs here, as William Byron continues to lead here at 171 laps down, 15 laps to go here in stage number 2. Could William Byron win back-to-back stages here to start this race at Darlington? Right now, he's dominated. His number 24 Chevrolet has not even been close to being contested by anybody besides on a restart. And we see a few other drivers to note here in this one. Oh, wow. Look at that, guys. Breaking news from my mom in the chat. Looks like the women's Yukon Huskies have won the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament and are the 2025 national champions for women's basketball. Congratulations to Yukon. And that's right, the women's Final Four was in Tampa. A huge success down there, I bet.
First repeat winner among those 9, or will
Dun, 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 dun,
today? Mike Joy, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, and Greg Biffle, if you're here in stage number 2. When the hurricanes hit western North Carolina, the government, FEMA, everybody seemed all kind of handcuffed in red tape, and you hopped in your helicopter and became the hero of hurricane relief. I know you're not a glory chaser. You weren't doing it for the publicity. You were doing it because there were people out there that needed help, and you found a way to help them. Yeah, absolutely. It was a weird deal the way it came together. I got a message that somebody needed help. Somebody needed, to be airlifted out. And I just thought, if I don't go, who's going to? And we had no idea at that point what was good, what we were going to see. And once I got in the air and got up there and saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, and no communication, no power, roads are blocked, and this is in a city setting here. But when you get up in the mountains,
so much devastation there in North Carolina after that hurricane came and ripped through. My prayers and thoughts for all those people still dealing with the damage and stuff from those hurricanes, man. Hurricanes are no joke.
It was all the social media that was generated by your efforts attracted people and equipment and supplies, and a bunch of us chipping in for helicopter fuel, and it became just a huge groundswell effort, and you folks did what I don't know why the government couldn't do to help these people. Yeah, and I think it's something that people just weren't ready for. How does a hurricane hit the mountains? And it was just, I think it caught everybody off guard that, how do you get in there? There's a tree down every 30 feet for...
And we're here at 7 laps to go here at lap 179 of 293. William Byron continues to hold the lead here. Joey Logano with a fast race car. Danny Hamlin and Josh Berry, two of the fastest cars on the racetrack here early on. Tyler Reddick and also Ty Dillon back in 8th and 9th place, also with fast race cars here as well.
Just wonderful humanitarian response.
And I think when you look at NASCAR racing, there isn't a sport that does it better.
And inside the top 10 here currently with 6 laps to go in stage number 2, we have William Byron in the number 24 Chevy in first, Joey Logano in the number 22 Ford Mustang in second, Danny Hamlin in the number 11 Toyota Camry in third, Josh Berry in the number 21 Ford Mustang in fourth, and Ryan Blaney, who somehow has been able to hold on to his car after getting into the wall here at Darlington. He's fifth right now in his number 12 Ford Mustang. And that rounds out the top 5 here for you guys.
And that network sure helps out when you're in a situation like that.
And it did, and it was crazy to see the amount of, all the people delivering, supplies and furniture rows, sending tractor trailer loads of bedding and all kinds of things. So it just, everybody poured out support and brought merchandise and brought stuff, and we flew it out and got it to the places that needed to go. And I think the Starlink, story was the best. They delivered us 300 units basically overnight to my shop. We took them to the airport and had them on helicopters at sunup. Wow. It was a pretty neat effort to get search and rescue and to get the folks back into communication. Who needed help was the biggest thing. Fantastic.
Well, I thought, Kevin, when Ryan Blaney hit that wall, as hard as he hit the wall, it would hurt him, but he's hanging tough right there in the top 10. Hasn't taken him out of this race.
No, his pace has still been pretty good, and if something's wrong with his car, you sure wouldn't be able to tell.
And then I'm going to tell you, just what a difference this caution made. Look at the top 10. You've got Ty Dillon up there, Gibbs, Bell, he had trouble early. And these guys that Reddick, we saw at the tail end of that run those.
And now we're at 2 laps to go here in stage number 2.
Struggling back here in dirty air.
And we'll see where these drivers end up, as it looks like William Byron will be winning back-to-back stages here as he dominates this race here at Darlington Raceway. Joe Gibbs Racing having a nice day. Danny Hamlin in third, Christopher Bell in sixth, Ty Gibbs in seventh, and Chase Briscoe in 16th. A nice run here as 3 of the 4 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas are currently inside the top 10.
Shocked by that to see that he just wasn't making any progress, and now he's
track position.
And you see right now, that is exactly right, Clint. You see William Byron has caught the tail end of the field right there, and he just can't go anywhere in traffic. And that Logano has clean air and has run right up to him.
Gonna put stage 2 in the books
And here
right
we go, stage 2 in the books as William Byron is able to win back-to-back stages here at Darlington Raceway.
In stage racing history,
A dominant performance here early on from the 2025 Daytona 500 winner, William Byron gets back-to-back stage wins here at Darlington Raceway. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys. Be right back for a quick restroom break. Whew. All right. We are back. We are back. Holy moly. Woo. Oh.
Myers through 2 stages. The story has been William Byron. No pole sitter, by the way, has won this year, but from the pole starting today.
Woo, here we go.
Last year he won 3 of the first 8 races, but didn't win a race after that. The Daytona 500, when they're trying to close out his second win of this year. Let's do a quick recap, baby, because there was.
Woo! Let's go, baby. We back. All right, and race recap here. We've seen Kyle Larson wrecks early, and that number 5 Chevrolet was taken out of the car, or taken out of this race 4 laps in after it won the best throwback paint scheme here of the weekend. And we also seen Carson Hocevar and Riley Herbst get involved in a contact there. And Brad Keselowski loses a wheel nut, and ends up almost wrecking his number 6 Ford Mustang. A tough break there for Brad Keselowski, who had a fast car all weekend. But the stage 1 and 2 winner has been William Byron, who has dominated this race early on.
The other big benefactor, though, was Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's now running second. It seemed like he didn't have a car when he was back in dirty air. It didn't have the track position he needed. Right now, though, the 4-time winner is in a great position.
Yeah, in a place where legend and myths are created here in Darlington. Byron hoping to add to his or create even more of one. Let's go back to Mike and Kevin and Clint in the booth.
Thanks, Chris. Craig Biffle's been with us for stage number 2. Thanks for being part of Throwback Weekend, driving the pace car, hanging out with Clint, me, and Elton Sawyer last night. There was a long conversation. There'll be more of that. But, boy, glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'd love to come up here and check this out and be around you guys. It's always good to see you, Greg. Always, especially with fun. Fun looks good on you. It looks like you're having fun. Anytime you show up, you come into the booth to be on TV with no sleeves on, screams you're having fun, baby.
I know. I had to do it.
I mean, typically Clint is our lead rapscallion up here in the booth. So,
yes.
You know, today you came in with no sleeves.
That's right.
Kind of tried to take some of his thunder away.
I love it. Next time I'll have my suit on, I promise.
Okay, good.
Have my tie.
Yeah.
Did you take that helicopter down here? You flying home?
Of course.
My man.
All right, back to business.
All right, guys, we're ready to go back racing here soon. And my mom in the chat saying, let's go, Denny Hamlin. Hell yeah.
Justin Haley had to come back and tighten the lug nut on his number 7. Remember, that was Kyle Larson's crew last week. They pretty much swapped crews for both cars supplied by Hendrick Motorsports. Let's get ready to restart. Byron and Hamlin, Logano and Gibbs, Bell and Reddick, row 3.
All right, here we go. We're ready to go back racing here for the last stage at Darlington Raceway. And boogity, 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 we're back racing, boys! And William Byron pulls ahead for the lead here in the number 24 Chevrolet. But on the inside, it's Joey Logano. But on the outside of Logano is Denny Hamlin. And that number 11 Toyota drives on the outside with a big push from his teammate, Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell had a nice launch there on that restart, and he helps push his teammate, Denny Hamlin, into that second place position. And Christopher Bell now takes away third place away from Joey Logano. And that's a fast number 20 Toyota Camry. I don't know what they did to that car, but it's now back in this race after being in the back of the pack. Oh, no! Josh Berry gets loose and into the interior wall. And that's a tough break there for Josh Berry and the Wood brothers. And the caution has come out here. The 7th caution of the day. And man, Josh Berry has got to be upset with himself after that. He had a fast number 21 Ford Mustang.
AMR safety team right there to assist Josh Berry.
And it looks like Tyler Reddick could have been involved in this. We'll see what the replay shows us. The window net is down.
Net down. Looks like he may be climbing out. We'll see. Indianapolis Motor Speedway President Doug Bowles sent the Wood brothers a letter asking them to run this scheme again, please, when they come to the Brickyard later this summer to honor Tim Clark's Indy win. So we love it, but
and that's exactly what happened. The number 45 of Tyler Reddick gets right up into the side of the number 21, and Josh Berry ends up wrecking out of this race. You spin me right round, baby, right round. All right, we're on another commercial break here in Darlington for this 2025 NASCAR Cup Series race. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the channel. Really appreciate you guys. Man, had a long bathroom break there. Whew! Glad we got that done and over with. But thanks for hanging back out, guys. We're now here in the final stage. That caution, unfortunately, is going to pretty much wreck the day for the number 21 Ford of Josh Berry. A tough break for him after he had a fast car here at Darlington Raceway. A beautiful throwback paint scheme that actually already Indy 500 and the IndyCar people have already asked the Wood brothers to run that same paint scheme at the Brickyard 400 coming up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway here in NASCAR coming up soon.
Sports are on Fox.
Yeah, and as we go back and look at this, Clint, you know, we see the 45 and the 21 right there.
I see the 21 yield the position, lifted a little bit to let him in. Reddick thought he was clear, just like they said on the radio, not clear. Got up into him, took his front end away, put him in a wall, and split him out.
Josh Berry had been a top 5, top 10 car
just
all day.
Close. I mean, that's close, tight quarters racing off the 2. I think the intentions were right on both drivers. Unfortunately, that's Josh Berry's
As you
day.
look at that view right there, I mean, you see that Berry's coming down the hill to try to get in position, and 45 is coming up, and it's just they came together at a bad time right there when one was going down the hill and the other's up the hill more than the guy on the outside in the 21 Josh Berry expected.
And we're right along here with Josh Berry. who really yielded the position to Tyler Reddick, and Reddick still gets into the 21, and that's a hard lick on the inside wall, and that's going to be the end of the day there for Josh Berry in the number 21 Ford Mustang.
Oh my God, that last pit stop, Denny Hamlin picked up one position, and we've been seeing some interesting new moves on pit road. Take a look at what his team is doing on pit road in terms of the jack man and what he has to do running around the race car. You'll see it right here when they drop the jack. Watch this. The jack slings around from behind him. He crosses his hands over and saves a couple steps right there. One of the guys that's had to learn that this year, Joe Alexander Bonneau, and I know I probably just butchered that name, but I tried really hard. You've been doing that move the majority of the season. How long does it take to get the hand-eye coordination and figure all that out?
It's a long process. It took about every bit of the off season, and you just every rep you're gaining a little bit more confidence enough to take it out to the track because there's a lot of risk out here. But yeah, I'd say about the entire off season.
Well, it's looking good right now. You picked your driver up a position, and Mike, I can tell you that Chris Berkey, the pit crew coach for Joe Gibbs Racing, he tasked these guys with finding a way to save steps and get every 10th of a second on the pit road, and they have been doing that.
I'll tell you, that's awesome. You look like Junior Johnson slinging that jack around the front of the car, or maybe Jeff Hammond.
Didn't Junior Johnson take somebody out, maybe allegedly on purpose?
An official was giving them a hard time, and the official would stand at the front of the car out on pit road during the pit stop. And as the story goes, Junior decided to teach that official a lesson. As he swung the jack, he swung it right around, took the feet right out from under that official.
Sound like you might have been in the way, Mike.
And as I watch that video right there, that's what I think about the front tire carrier right there. I'm like, oh man, that gets a little wide.
When you're talking
jack right in the knees.
Pit stops inside of 9 seconds, it's all the little things.
The egg-shaped Darlington Raceway. You'll see it from our aerial coverage today. Presented by Goodyear, celebrating 100 years of an American icon, the Goodyear blimp.
End of that story, the official was never assigned to the 11 pits ever again.
Right. The biggest drubbing in the history of Darlington Raceway came here in 1965 in the Southern 500. It was Ned Jarrett's only Darlington win. He went on to win.
All right, so we are here at Darlington Raceway with 94 laps to go. After this caution that came out when Josh Berry, the driver of the number 21 Ford Mustang, got into the interior wall. And this is the 75th anniversary of Darlington Raceway. And Darlington, too tough to tame.
He's led every one of 200 laps so far.
Well, if it stays this way, this race was won yesterday with that huge lap that he put himself in front of this field.
Well, and all the drivers that we talked to talked about how important that qualifying lap was on this particular racetrack.
Here's some Kyle Busch audio.
This car, this track, all this because you had the 11 and the 20 that was leading all day in the 20s. Like, I was about ready to pass the 11s when I was, and here we are, the race is flipped and they're running top 5 just fine, so all about where you put the signal.
Well, we kind of noticed that, the way this race has had comers and goers based on timing of pit stops and where you are in the restart lineup.
And Kyle Busch is definitely frustrated here,
the source of that frustration,
as he's currently riding in 18th place. He was riding inside the top 10 at one point, but now his car seems to have fallen off, and he's not very happy about it either. Voicing his displeasure to his crew chief.
That is this racetrack, because it becomes difficult to pass. It becomes very one line, hard, to find somewhere to set somebody up for a pass. So as a driver, it is very frustrating. You got to keep yourself focused.
ready for the restart. Byron and Bell fire off.
And we're back racing here at Darlington Raceway with 92 laps to go. And Christopher Bell on the inside of William Byron as we head into turn number 1. And they're side by side. Oh, almost some contact there from William Byron as Christopher Bell is now battling with the leader. As they go down the backstretch, William Byron barely has the lead exiting turn number 4. And we see Christopher Bell side by side, but now will fall back right behind the number 24. And now William Byron will take the lead once again with 91 laps to go here. Christopher Bell gave William Byron a run for his money there on that restart, but once again, William Byron's car just continues to pull away from the pack.
The wall and backed everybody upright in that group.
Yeah, he definitely got high off the 2, had to lift out of the gas and stacked them up big time.
Yeah, we see 2 cars that were up towards the front of the racetrack. The number 12 there, Ryan Blaney, had some trouble on a pit stop, and Ryan Priest right behind him.
And now we see a battle here near the back of the pack, near 13th and 14th place. Ryan Blaney trying to work his way back inside the top 10. And the Toyotas are having one hell of a run here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I had a pretty good restart there. I got a little checked up and lost some momentum behind Joey, and Tyler got underneath me there, and we kind of just ran out of room, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say in that moment. Obviously, just tough to get off the 2 with that bump and everything. So I don't know, we just kind of got together. So I don't know. Our cars are fast. We're not going anywhere. We're going to run up front. We're going to be in this position again. Just want to thank everybody at Ford Motor Company. Obviously, we had amazing Jim Clark throwback there today. Everybody at Motorcraft and Quick Lane, and we'll go get them next week.
Thanks, Jamie.
Tough break there for Josh Berry, who's out of this race now. As we have 88 laps to go, William Byron now has the lead. Christopher Bell has worked his way up to second place in that number 20 Toyota Camry. Danny Hamlin, last week's winner, is currently third in that number 11 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, they've done a great job of keeping themselves in the game.
And Joey Logano also riding inside the top 5, currently in 5th. And behind him is Ty Gibbs, the youngster there in the number 54 Toyota Camry, currently in the 6th place position.
Alex Bowman 7, Chris Buescher.
And Alex Bowman, a nice run for him, currently in 7th, as he worked his way from starting 33rd in this race, and now is inside the top 10. And Chris Buescher, also a guy who's raced this racetrack very well over the last few years. He finished stage number 1 in 3rd place, but finished 13th after stage number 2. So now currently 8th. He's going to try to hold on to that top 10 spot. And there's my favorite driver, Chase Elliott. Driver of the number 9 Chevrolet, currently in the 9th place position as his Hendrick Motorsports team continues to try to get that car better and up towards the front. Eric Jones, a very nice run for him in the number 43 Toyota for Legacy Motor Club. After starting this race in 34th, he now currently is in the 10th place position after finishing 27th in stage 1 and 11th in stage number 2. So slowly improving here for the number 43 car.
He approved of the timing of that caution and when it came out and how it was going to work for that 43 car. You talk about the Wood brothers and you look at this Richard Petty throwback scheme here. We've covered it pretty well, but man, there's just not many schemes that stick out like that 43 old SDP paint scheme.
Let's have a look at today's big move, sponsored by Pods. And it was after this restart where...
And we got some big movers here after that last restart.
William Byron. But he had the top lane and big momentum.
But I tell you what, William Byron has been able to do very well on all of these restarts, even this last one, battling it out with Christopher Bell. And he's able to hold on to the lead here as William Byron continues to dominate here in this racetrack.
Regan?
Mike, I want to go back to the last pit stop, which is lap 189 for William Byron. And what he said as he came onto pit road, he told crew chief Rudy Fugel that was the first time all day it really took a big swing to the loose side on him. And you can hear a little bit of concern in his voice. Of course, that was a long run right there. He also commented on the fact that he felt like it was the clouds that caused that. Well, as I look up at the sky right now, it's very overcast currently, and it does look like there's some other clouds out there. So something to keep an eye on as we get further and further into this run, and he continues to get a little pressure from the 20 of Christopher Bell.
So now we see some cloud cover starting to approach the racetrack here. It should affect the track temperature as we have 81 laps to go here in this race at Darlington Raceway. William Byron holding on to that lead. We see Joey Logano, his number 22 Ford Mustang, riding very well, currently in 5th after finishing stage number 2 in 2nd place.
Cale Yarborough, who was such a hero here and from nearby Timmonsville, but Joey's connection with Cale. Early in Joey's career, Cale taking him around the racetrack, telling him where the trouble spots were, giving him advice of what to do, and obviously...
And Joey Logano's paint scheme honors the throwback paint scheme of Cale Yarborough. And Cale Yarborough was one of the legends here in NASCAR, especially at Darlington. And it's inspired by Cale Yarborough's 1975 and 77 paint scheme. And Cale was also one of those guys that really helped out Denny Hamlin and showed him all the trouble spots and such here on this racetrack.
The only thing it said on it's Cale. Well, it says Cale on the right side. It says Joey on the left side.
That's this one. I'm talking about old Cale. There's nothing cooler than that. Just simple, plain, got the job done. Really neat human being, Cale Yarborough.
He was, and just tough as nails. And talking.
Cale Yarborough's still a legend in NASCAR. He's helped out a lot of the younger generation here in the NASCAR Cup Series.
That they've been able to experience and talk about, and driving those cars around today, Clint. You just look at the interior of the cars and the things that they raced with, going 180, 200 miles an hour in those cars. You're like, how are they all still alive?
Here's had a cigarette lighter.
How did they all not just get injured all the time in these race cars? Because those cars, I mean, it's got a ton of power and very little safety.
There is no way
How
I
are your
would ever
seatbelts?
want to wreck that car.
How were your seatbelts held in?
My God.
How are your seatbelts held in your
Well,
car?
I had a couple links of chain in it, about a little 3/8 launch chain.
Wow.
And it's amazing how the old school NASCAR drivers were able to take those cars and get as much out of them as they did. And all right, guys, we're going back to another commercial break here at this very unentertaining race here at Darlington Raceway. Trying our best to give it some entertainment for you guys, for the most part, that's for sure. Bum ba dum bum bum. All right, guys, here on another commercial break, let's get another cracked open for you guys with the Papa 2. Hear that nice Papa, your soda Papa, whatever it is you got to drink, baby. And let's go. It is Tim Reynolds Show. What you know about rolling down in the deep when your brain goes numb? You can call that mental freeze. These people talk too much, you put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like the astronaut in the ocean. Hey. And oh man, to start this race here, Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer got to drive some old school Woods Brothers number 21 Fords. Man, that's so cool.
29 and a 351 Cleveland.
Why did you put your seatbelts on?
Why did you not put your seatbelts on?
Big old 3-inch belts.
Hey, they were so old. Look, we were pulling and couldn't get them loose.
William Byron, your leader for all 222 laps. His teammate Alex Bowman, though, has
Uh-oh.
and just came around.
And Alex Bowman, driver of the number 48 Chevrolet, is now in the pits after getting into the wall. It looks like he may have a toe link problem there as the crew tries to work on that number 48 Chevrolet that's now in the pits. So William Byron continues to lead here at Darlington. And the last driver to lead every lap in a race was Jeff Burton at New Hampshire back in September 2000 and led 300 laps.
Loudon, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, in which Burton led all 300 laps.
And we see William Byron today has led 224 laps in this race with 69 laps to go.
Back in 2000 NASCAR. Unfortunately, we'd had some accidents during that time that had taken the lives of some of the drivers, and they put restrictor plates on the car up there that day, and Burton led every single lap.
A couple of best friends going at it here, and racing hard for 8th place. Chase Elliott holds on to the spot. Ryan Blaney. Larry, 68 to go. What are we looking forward to?
Yeah, Mike, and that could be the difference if William Byron leads every single one of these laps, because we're closing in on green flag pit stops. Remember what happened in stage 2 with some coming a little early, some going to try to split it right down the middle when that caution came out. I'm going to say probably in about 10 to 12 laps you're going to see some drivers hitting pit road, but I would say the sweet spot is somewhere around lap 240 to 245.
Battle for 25th, Austin Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen. And to Richard Petty's point, there's battles all around this racetrack. There's no way TV can show them all, not all at once. Like Richard said, you got to come buy a ticket.
And we talked about this last week during the race. The mid-pack racing to the back is always way more difficult than it is up in the front. You're always fighting for your life in the back of that, in the middle and the back of the pack.
Kevin, let's go back.
And we definitely see a lot of really good competitive racing near the back of the pack here, as a lot of these drivers really try to tame this racetrack here at Darlington. And a lot of stripes are already showing up on those walls there in Darlington, as we see a battle here between Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. And Ryan Blaney's able to take away that 8th place position away from Chase Elliott. And that number 12 Ford Mustang looks fast getting around the number 9 Chevrolet. And Elliott will have to try to battle it back.
The class of the field right now, I think that
and we see William Byron over the last 4 laps has increased his lead by almost 1 second over the 2nd place driver, Christopher Bell, in that number 20 Toyota Camry. A very dominating run here for the number 24 team for Hendrick Motorsports, and a badass car for it to happen in as well.
3 Toyotas right behind him, Bell, Hamlin, Reddick. Logano is the first Ford in the race in 5th, with Buescher in 6th and Blaney in 8th in the blue ovals. There's Joey's Mustang. We're only 11 days away from the 61st birthday of the Ford Mustang, April 17th, 1964. Had a big celebration last year for the 60th, and a big commemorative model 60th anniversary Mustang in showrooms.
And you see right there the McDonald's car of
Tyler Reddick, the driver of the number 45 Toyota, trying to get to the back bumper of Denny Hamlin, the driver of the number 11 Toyota. And now, guys, with 62 laps to go, we're starting to see some green flag pit stops here underway, as Ryan Preece, the driver of the number 60 Ford Mustang, has now been the first driver to go to the pits.
You think they do the same here and just wait it out?
That's a lot of laps, Mike. Splitting it right in half is about 13 to 14 laps from right now.
Wow, that is a long time.
Well, let's go back to that. They obviously got the caution, right? Changed that strategy, or helped the strategy anyway, took it out of the equation. That is a lot tougher to see.
And William Byron continues to lead this racetrack by a wide margin, but now we're getting into green flag pit stops here with 60 laps to go. So pit strategy could play a big part in how we finish this race.
Every single lap of this thing, I might stay a little closer to, especially when you know how good that car is against the competition all the way through the run, not only on the front side, the long run as well.
William Byron has about a 3.3 second lead, so he's got a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of time to give if those guys pit before him. And we saw earlier he never even had to get to pit road, but with the speed and the lead that he has, he can wait for a lot of these guys to cycle through, and he's still going to have the advantage because he's going to wait longer, he's going to have fresher tires, he can
got some good clean racing going on here at Darlington Raceway. Green flag pit stops are underway. And we are at 58 laps to go here in this race at Darlington Raceway for the Goodyear 400.
Now, NASCAR had commissioners before, beginning with Cannonball Baker, but that position is now called the final appeals officer. This is the first time NASCAR has had a full-time commissioner in charge of strategy and development. So congratulations to both of them.
This is a sign for you back 19. He knows you'll be all good by 5.
Now you're starting to see a lot of hear the chatter on the radio, seeing a couple of these guys starting to come to pit road now. So if this strategy is going to get scattered here. But like Larry said, that is a long ways to go.
John Hunter Nemechek comes in for his green flag stop. That's Shane Van Gisbergen who's in as well. But not much activity among the leaders just yet.
Just like we saw in that first run, one of those ones that I left off that list was Brian Blaney. Him, Busher, those guys drove to the front.
So now 57 laps to go. We're seeing more and more drivers start to make these green flag pit stops, but most of the drivers inside the top 10 have remained in their positions, trying to wait it out as long as they can to make sure that this will be their last pit stop of the day, unless we see another caution come out.
Tenths of a second faster, just like we did earlier in the race when we had those super long runs.
So when William Byron got in traffic and they couldn't get around those the lap cars, they caught him 8 tenths. It was a second one lap. That's what you can't afford. Here comes Logano.
If you're going to beat the 24, you better do something different than the 24.
Good point.
But to Kevin's point earlier, they've got such a lead on the competition here. They can kind of...
And now we see Joey Logano gives up his top 5 spot to make a pit stop here with 55 laps to go. And this should put him just inside the fuel window here. Most of these cars can make it about on 60 laps of fuel, I believe, here at Darlington.
And when these cars swing free, there is just absolutely nothing you can do about it other than slow down and just run the pace that right rear tire grip will give you, because
a nice clean pit stop there for Joey Logano as he's already back on the racetrack.
Flips like a switch, and
well, if you don't, you'll be in the wall.
That's right.
You have to slow down, keep the car underneath of you, race the racetrack.
Zane Smith on pit road. He's had a good run today for front row. And Tyler Reddick, first of our top 5 cars to come in.
And now Tyler Reddick in the pit for these green flag pit stops here with 53 laps to go. Danny Hamlin currently in third. Christopher Bell currently in second. And William Byron, the leader, had yet to pit yet on these green flag pit stops. Nice clean pit stop there for Tyler Reddick. And he gets back out on the track.
Michael Jordan Jumpman logo. Can't miss that.
Okay, I think that's Busher coming on pit road right now. That's one of your hitters. That's the top 5 car.
Now Chris Busher, driver of the number 17 Ford Mustang, is in for his green flag pit stop.
In and out. Noah Gregson is in. Busher positioned for 4 tires and fuel. Ross Chastain joins him on pit road.
And I don't think that even Busher with where he was. I mean, he was somewhere around 8 seconds behind. That still doesn't put a lot of real pressure on William Byron. I think that.
Well, that's just his radar, right? That's who's on his radar.
Right.
And that's
keeping track of
the other car is that 20 car, Christopher Bell on pit road now.
Jamie?
Really good effort for this 20 team. They told me they were tight and slow on Saturday. They made a bunch of adjustments. You see another chassis adjustment there. They've been doing that all
And Christopher Bell in for his pit. This team made a nice chassis adjustment to try to help tune that car in just a little bit better here on this last pit stop, as they give them 4 fresh Goodyear tires and fill them up full of fuel.
All scheduled green flag pit stops. The first 15 cars have yet to pit. 50 laps to go.
And with 50 laps to go here, we're still doing green flag pit stops. And here comes the leader, William Byron, in for his green flag pit stop. And his pit crew got to be on top of their game to get the leader back out there to regain his spot.
Cody Ware just ahead of him coming down the pit lane. And here's Regan.
Well, Mike, just like Clint and Kevin were talking about up there in the booth, Rudy Fugo was coaching his driver about the gap that they had and that they could dictate when they wanted to pit, and they had a couple laps to spare. But his car did, just like it did the previous run, got to a certain point, and it was extremely loose. And he came on the radio and was very vocal about how loose it was getting each of those laps.
Cedric Gilliland, Ty Dillon are in. Keselowski's in the pit lane.
And a nice clean pit stop there for William Byron. Gets him out quickly. And Denny Hamlin will take over the lead here. And Ryan Blaney is in second place behind him. Ty Gibbs in third.
Briscoe on pit road.
And you see right there, Christopher Bell has gone by William Byron. So they waited just a little bit too long and actually have lost this, what will be for the lead right there with Christopher Bell.
Uh-oh.
Now we're going to see what William Byron has. He's going to, at some point, have
and as Hamlin got a little loose there, almost gets into William Byron as he's getting around the leader. But right now, as we cycle through these green flag pit stops, Christopher Bell would more than likely be the driver that comes out as the leader of this race.
So the 2 leaders, Hamlin and Blaney, peel off. That leaves Suarez, Wallace, and Haley as the cars that have not pitted. Kyle Busch.
Oh, hi.
He's gone.
How you doing? The wife scared me, guys. Well, thank you. It's going all right. One guy's been dominating the whole thing. William Byron, driver of the number 24 Chevy. But they just did green flag pit stops now, and Christopher Bell, driver of the number 20 Toyota, looks like he's going to come out with the lead after these green flag pit stops. So something interesting starting to happen. And Danny Hamlin makes his pit stop there for the number 11 Toyota. Nice clean pit stop there. We'll see where he ends up cycling out here in this one.
Hopefully for the final time today, as they come around to the left side.
Yeah, and as we see Tyler Reddick right here, he's actually going to be the guy that's going to be
a little bit.
Christopher Bell.
Okay.
And the 24 car of William.
Can't believe it's already 6 o'clock. I don't even feel like that.
This is all about the timing of when they come to pit road and how many laps that you and time that you lose on the racetrack. So these guys have put William Byron in a position that he hasn't been in all day, and that's to run in traffic and have to get by both of these cars for the lead.
So Tyler Reddick, the leader, was 4 seconds behind Byron before pit stops in 4th place. Now he's out front.
Larry, had to have been a
So now that we have cycled through green flag pit stops, it actually looks like Tyler Reddick is going to come out as the leader of this race here. And looks like bad pit strategy now has surrendered the lead from William Byron. And he's now cycled through here into 4th place. Christopher Bell in 3rd, Joey Logano in 2nd, and Tyler Reddick now has the lead in his number 45 Toyota.
Before they did 2 laps on Busher to Byron.
Correct. So Justin Haley just completes his pit stop. That leaves only Austin Dillon on the racetrack in 6th place. Everyone else has made the green flag stop. 43 laps to go. New leader.
And here we go with 42 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. We have a new leader. Tyler Reddick, driver of the number 45 Toyota, has now taken over the lead after green flag pit stops have cycled through. And unfortunately, we see the leader of all the laps for this race up until this point, William Byron, has now found himself in 4th place after his pit stop. Unfortunately, did not cycle out well with the other top 3 drivers. As we see just ahead of William Byron, we see Christopher Bell, driver of the number 20 Toyota, Denny Hamlin, also the driver of the number 22 Ford, and also ahead of him we see is the new leader, Tyler Reddick, in the number 45 Toyota. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. Please, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. What's going on? Daniel Barry, shout out. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the chat. Welcome back, brother. Thanks for hanging out on the channel, everybody. Don't forget to please hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. And thank you for hanging out here, guys. It hasn't been too exciting of a race as we've seen William Byron, driver of the number 24 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports, has dominated this race here at Darlington, where we haven't seen a lot of action. But right now we have reshuffled through green flag pit stops, and now that puts William Byron in 4th place instead of in the lead.
Coming up next, UFL football. We've got the home opener for the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Laps to go and the game has changed.
And you're right. 37 laps to go. And Tyler Reddick has changed the game up here as he has now taken over the lead thanks to good pit strategy over who's been the dominant leader, which has been William Byron. And Byron has been able to get around the number 22 of Joey Logano, and now he's currently in the 3rd place position. And Christopher Bell has also come around Joey Logano as well.
You've got to do something different than that 24, and they were able to have the 24 stay out on the racetrack, and through that whole cycle lost enough time to be able to.
And in that cycle, we see a lot of drivers took advantage of the green flag pit stops, including Ryan Priest, who's currently in 8th after he came into the pits at 12th. Nice come up for him as well.
Really no idea of how his car handles or what needs to happen, but I think as Clint said, the later part of this run is really where we're going to see this probably all take place, when we've seen the 20 car fall off more than the 24, but who knows? What does the 24 car do in traffic?
Well, obviously 53 laps.
So it looks like William Byron In third place, right behind Christopher Bell, about a couple of car lengths away. But Tyler Reddick has built up a 6-second lead over Christopher Bell and William Byron. We may need to see a caution here or a restart in order to get those two drivers back up behind the leader.
The way that they were using them all up at the beginning of the race, I was worried that we were going to make it to the end, but
I was worried if we were going to make the end of stage one.
Yeah, we were firing tires on those cars like they were going out of style. So this race is 100 miles shorter than the Southern 500. So that definitely makes the math a little easier to add up to. Larry?
Speaking of math, Larry, what do the trends tell us?
Yeah, Mike, we normally, since we've been running this Gen 7 car...
All right, the race trends here in the last 6 races at Darlington. We've seen the average last lap caution come at lap 267 with 26 laps to go. But we've only had one overtime finish here at Darlington Raceway, and that was in May of 2023.
That one was messy. I was wrecked, and I think I finished second or third. So that's how fast things can change. And we've seen things change all day as now we see William Byron.
Oh, and now William Byron tries to make a move on the inside of Christopher Bell. And he's right there behind the driver for second place. And William Byron needs to make this pass as quick as possible if he wants any chance of catching up to the leader, Tyler Reddick, who is now pulling away from the rest of the group of drivers. Oh, but now on the inside of William Byron, that's Bubba Wallace as he tries to stay on the lead lap here.
Well, and you see right there, that's Tyler Reddick's teammate. And Tyler Reddick wants to see as much happen as possible for that 24 car to get as far behind as possible. And the 23 of Bubba Wallace putting himself in front of that car doesn't hurt anything.
And Bubba Wallace, who's currently riding in a 20th place position, helping out his teammate, Tyler Reddick. They're battling with William Byron for that third place, or while William Byron is battling for that third place spot.
I'm still amazed.
And back behind them, you see Ryan Blaney battling it out with Denny Hamlin for that 6th place spot. That number 11 Toyota Camry looks very strong, but so does that number 12 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, and I really thought more than likely that was a totally fit for sure. He smacked it pretty hard, not only with the right rear, turned it in and got that, turned the right front into it, and then slapped the right rear again 2 or 3 times. But obviously didn't slow that baby down. That thing's a rocket ship.
Saw him have a little bit of trouble on pit road there with the jack. Couldn't get the jack under, and that's really how they got far behind. So if it wasn't for that little miscue on pit road, I think that they would have been right up in the mix up towards the front.
Still, believe it or not, chasing his first top 5 at this place.
Blaney moves to 6th place. Tyler Reddick, who's led more laps at Darlington than any other track, has the lead with 28 to go as we go Fox side by side.
Welcome to more.
And now Tyler Reddick with the lead with 28 laps to go. Oh, thank you, DNA. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for hanging out in the channel and in the chat. Hell yeah, we got some Kyle Busch fans in the chat now. Let's go. Always awesome when we can get some NASCAR fans hanging out in the chat with everybody. Appreciate you guys. Trying to keep it going, keep it rolling, keep it moving. Oh, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah. Hell yeah, DNA. Also watching the race with us. That's cool, brother. Hasn't been a very exciting race throughout, guys, unfortunately. But we've seen some very good, clean racing here from these NASCAR Cup Series drivers. Right now, pit strategy is what's playing a big part in the end of this race, as now Tyler Reddick has taken over the lead, and he's leading at a racetrack where he's led the most laps out of any racetrack throughout his Cup Series career. So Tyler Reddick knows this racetrack well. But it's a big bummer, though, for the guy who has dominated thus far, which has been William Byron. William Byron, driver of the number 24 Chevrolet, has led almost every single lap throughout this race here. But pit strategy plays a big part in this, after William Byron came in and pitted a little bit later than the number 45 of Tyler Reddick. And that's what's put Reddick out front.
Leading Christopher Bell by 5 seconds now.
And now with the race summary here, we've only had 3 different leaders, only 2 different lead changes. And cars on the lead lap right now is 22, with 7 cautions throughout this race here in this Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway.
Well, it's all going to be in how bad does Tyler Reddick's car tank, and he's not being able to make any ground in traffic right now. And that's what we saw happen to William Byron earlier when he lost that 3 or 4 second lead. So
and now we see Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin are attacking Joey Logano, trying to take away that top 5 spot from Logano, as Ryan Blaney now moves into 4th place, and Denny Hamlin now alongside the 22, and he will take away that top 5 spot from the former Cup Series champion last year. And now as Joey Logano drops back into 6th place, Denny Hamlin now moves up inside the top 5. A nice run there for the number 11 Toyota Racing Team. And Ryan Blaney, does he have enough laps left to get up towards the front? I don't think so, folks, unless we see a caution or a restart here. With 21 laps to go, this is definitely Tyler Reddick's race to lose.
Pre-race 1:30 Eastern, green flag at 3.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on the channel. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show. And coming up next week, the NASCAR Cup Series goes racing at Bristol Motor Speedway. Short track racing, it's going to be epic.
And Tyler Reddick right there, you see him behind Brad Keselowski, who's, 2 laps down. So he's definitely stuck in a spot where traffic is affecting everything that he does. Jamie?
Tyler Reddick now has led 26 laps. He just came on the radio and asked his team, what's my gap? They said, you're doing great. Lap times look good. You've got about a 5-second lead over Christopher Bell. Of course, Tyler Reddick looking for a little redemption, Mike, after the race he had about a year ago where he came out so close to winning.
That's for sure. Well, that last lap, Ryan Blaney was 0.6 of a second faster than Reddick. It's just a matter of, does he have enough time, and can he get through the cars ahead of him?
Well, Reddick is stuck. He's going to run the pace that Brad Keselowski is running. So the thing that he's hoping for right now is that Brad doesn't catch a car that's slower than him and get stuck behind him.
Well, he's stuck, and then you go back and Bell is stuck underneath trying to get around Stenhouse with Byron coming up on him. They're kind of stuck. You just heard Mike tell you how fast Blaney is. He doesn't have anybody in front of him. He's got a lot of clean air.
And Ryan Blaney, over the last 4 laps, has cut into the lead by almost 3 seconds over the leader. But currently, Ryan Blaney is in 4th place. And I don't think there's going to be enough laps left for Ryan Blaney to make some leeway on the leader.
And the big thing that Ryan Blaney has had is he's been able to dive that car down to the bottom of the racetrack and be able to finish passes. And you see right now, Reddick he's got that high entry into 1. That's a little bit different than Brad. But his line is against the wall. He can't really run anywhere else and make up time. The biggest problem he has right now are those cars in front of Brad Keselowski, because they're at a slower pace. Brad has caught these guys, so now it's going to jam him up even slower.
Blaney has made up 11 of the 17 seconds he was behind Reddick at the conclusion of his pit stop.
Look how much better it rolls the center of that corner than William Byron in front of him. Williams in trouble, tight in the center. Blaney's not. Roll in the middle, well, car's free.
And this is what he wanted to have happen right there. You see William Byron make a bobble.
Oh, and now Ryan Blaney's able to make a move on the inside. And he's able to take away that top 4 spot away from William Byron. And now in the 3rd place position, Ryan Blaney's now attacking Christopher Bell on the inside here of the number 20 Toyota. And Christopher Bell tries to battle, but he will succumb to the speed of Ryan Blaney as the number 12 Ford Mustang has now made it around the 3rd and 2nd place cars, and now has found himself in the driver's seat, trying to get up to the leader, Tyler Reddick. But will there be enough laps left to go? With 15 to go here in this race at Darlington Raceway, your leader, Tyler Reddick, in the number 45 Toyota, has a huge 5-second lead right now over Ryan Blaney, but Blaney is cutting into that lead drastically.
Another second.
That'll be the next car, the next lap.
So 14 laps to go here, and Ryan Blaney has already cut that lead by a second over Tyler Reddick. Guys, if we stay green all the way to the end here, Ryan Blaney could probably get to the back bumper of the 45 before the last lap. This could be very interesting, folks. We could be in for a very, very interesting ending to this race.
4 seconds now.
And this is exactly what we talked about. Hitting early. You got the car that's been one of the best cars on the long run all day, and the only car that's been able to maneuver in traffic really well has been Ryan Blaney. So that's been the benefit that he has had all day, is being able to get through traffic.
So now Ryan Preece is in front of the leader, Tyler Reddick. Preece is in a Ford. He's not going to be a friend to Reddick. But Reddick finds his way by.
Reddick's done a good job of getting cars in between him and that 2nd place car of Blaney.
So Tyler Reddick working very hard to get around lap traffic as best he can here. And looking on is the owner, one of the car owners of 2311, Michael Jordan. Him and Denny Hamlin are owners of 2311. And we see his car, Tyler Reddick, that number 45 Toyota, is currently in the lead here.
That seam all the way around the corner, he's able to just make quick work of those lap cars.
And now here with 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go, I should say, Ryan Blaney has now cut the lead to 3 seconds over Tyler Reddick. Man, this is going to be close. Very, very close. If Tyler Reddick can get caught up by some lap traffic here, Ryan Blaney really has a chance. Right now, Ryan Blaney currently dealing with lap traffic, but he's now cut the lead under 3 seconds to Tyler Reddick. He is definitely making some leeway here, folks.
What you don't want to see is 2 cars in front of you side by side. They got it sorted out for him in the corner.
Tyler Reddick, his main goal right now is not to make the half-a-second mistake.
That's a big costly. That Preece didn't get out of his way. Cost him a lot of time right there, Blaney.
I'm not sure that'll be a logjam. I think it's going to be Blaney trying to get by Reddick's teammate there, Bubba Wallace.
Great point there, too. That one won't be easy to pass.
And now Ryan Blaney coming up behind the teammate of Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace. And with 9 laps to go, Ryan Blaney still trying to drive his way towards the front. And now lap traffic has really gotten in the way of this momentum here for Ryan Blaney. And Michael Jordan so nervous. And oh, Tyler Reddick gets up into the wall. And the leader there has a Darlington stripe to show for it. And now with 8 laps to go, Ryan Blaney's able to get around his teammate Bubba Wallace. And now we may have a race here, folks. Man, that was tough. Tyler Reddick just barely gets into the wall and scrapes the right side of his car. And now Ryan Blaney, over the last 2 laps, has cut into that lead by 2 seconds.
Today, Reddick is second in that department, and Reddick has been the best defender.
And oh my goodness, Ryan Blaney is right there. He can see the leader, Tyler Reddick, right in front of him. He has cut into this lead tremendously, and it's going to take everything he's got in that number 12 Ford Mustang for him to pull out the win here at Darlington Raceway. But you can see, especially in the corners there, that Ryan Blaney is closing that gap very quickly. 6 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway, and we got a race on our hands, folks. Tyler Reddick is fighting to survive here as Ryan Blaney has now cut into that lead. It's a half a second coming down the backstretch with 6 to go. Ryan Blaney is close to the back bumper of Tyler Reddick, who almost gets into the wall again here at Darlington. And Ryan Blaney coming down the front stretch is trying to get behind the leader. It looked like Tyler Reddick came off the wall there on turn number 4 pretty hard. And now Ryan Blaney's right to his back bumper. 5 laps to go. Ryan Blaney trying to get the lead away from Tyler Reddick, but he continues to drive that number 45 Toyota like a madman. And Reddick stays on the top lane as Ryan Blaney tries to work the bottom. He's right there. We're talking bumper to bumper here as Ryan Blaney comes down the front stretch. It's 4 laps to go. And on the inside here of turn number 1, Ryan Blaney side by side with the leader, and they make contact. Tyler Reddick falls back, and Ryan Blaney takes the lead. And no way! The caution flag comes out! And after that tough racing to finally get the lead, the caution flag comes out! And wow, that is not what Ryan Blaney wanted to see, and neither did Kyle Larson, who got loose and into the wall once again.
And now it comes down to just an absolute shootout on these restarts. And
now it comes down.
Here's Tyler Reddick.
I think I killed it. Sorry, guys. What are you sorry about, man? We got a lot to fight for here. Great white checker coming up. Oh, man, knocked the right front of it off. I smoked the wall in. Sure, too.
So now looks like Tyler Reddick says he pushed his car too hard, and oh man! Right before that caution came out, Tyler Reddick gets hard into the wall on that right front. And I am shocked that that toe link is not broke on the 48. And now we're heading into NASCAR overtime.
Kyle Larson's taking his car to the garage. End of his day.
Don't count out that number 1 pit stall with this 24.
He has to move 21 feet on pit road. That's the advantage right there.
Well, he'll be coming in from 4th behind and suddenly it's a whole new race, and it's going to be green, white, checker.
And there has been
and now we got a whole new race on our hands, folks.
We've had long runs, we've had short runs, we've had tires thrown at the car. Overtime finish to decide this race that has been absolutely dominated by William Byron. Ryan Blaney by far had the best car on the long run right here at the end.
Could you imagine being Ryan Blaney? Just put on the absolute drive of your life to take the lead, and 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second later, the caution comes out.
Well, Blaney's crew is going to have to step it up. Statistically, today, they rank 35th in what they've done today. 17 total spots lost on pit road. So now is the time.
That's not very ideal.
Well, I think a lot of those spots came on the one stop where they couldn't get the jack under the car, but still that's happened today, and now there's a lot of pressure on every one of these pit crews on pit road. So this is what it's going to come down to, pit road and a restart.
24 car needs to narrow this up as much as possible to catch those guys. They have a couple cars in between him. He is in the catbird seat with that number 1 stall.
We still have 20 cars.
So now, with 20 cars still on the lead lap, it's really going to come down to pit road strategy. And now we see the leaders come down pit lane here. And tires are going to be so important here. How clean can these pit stops be for the leaders up front. Ryan Blaney's in first, but we also know that William Byron has the advantage as far as pit stalls, with him being the number one guy, the number one pit stall. Ryan Blaney able to have a clean pit stop there. He's out. Oh, and it looks like Tyler Reddick just gets out in front of Ryan Blaney, and he might be able to walk out of here with the lead. And now William Byron. Oh, it's Denny Hamlin! Denny Hamlin's able to get out of his pit box the fastest, and he takes over the lead here, and Ryan Blaney has a slow pit stop, and that costs him 3 spots on pit lane, and that's exactly why Ryan Blaney did not want the caution flag to come out.
Yes, it does. That 11 pit crew, 9.42, the fastest of all the top 5 or 6 on that pit stop.
Woo! And just over 11 seconds, Danny Hamlin and the number 11 Toyota Camry crew for Joe Gibbs Racing pulls off the lead on pit road.
We covered it, and boom. That's exactly what just won the race off pit road. Heartbreak for this Ryan Blaney. If I'm him, I cannot believe what just transpired.
Oh, it's not over yet.
No.
It's definitely not over yet. This is these restarts can be wild, and it just takes one little slip off of turn 2 to wreck a whole bunch of cars.
Talk about throwback. If Chris Economaki was here, he would call turn 2 Calamity Corner today.
And I would agree. I mean, it's a narrow corner. It's like a funnel. It shoves you down in there, and the next thing you know, you pop out of the hole and up against the fence, and
there you go.
If you're too wide, it is so difficult to run through there too wide.
Well, in case you missed it, I'll show you what's happened here today. The first caution flag was at lap number 4, where Kyle Larson getting out of shape. He hit the side wall. They made a lot of repairs to that car, and he came back out and just caused the last caution of the day. Carson Hocevar went for a spin, then Brad Keselowski lost a wheel nut, had to come back in, did not lose the wheel. So no problem there. Josh Berry, after a contact, spinning into the inside wall, and the Wood Brothers day was done. William Byron won both the first 2 stages and led the first 243 laps. And then Ryan Blaney takes the lead from Tyler Reddick, and there goes Larson again into the inside wall in just the same place. And we're going to overtime. Here's the race off pit road, won by Denny Hamlin, then Tyler Reddick, then William Byron, then Ryan Blaney. With Christopher Bell, they are the players as we go to overtime.
Well, it's all going to come down to the launch right here on the restart and who can get themselves fired off.
All right, here comes the biggest restart of this race here as we are in NASCAR overtime.
He's going to take the outside. We got that position prevail. But how do you challenge them? You're going to need help with Ryan Blaney getting in the back bumper of the 45, tying this thing perfect, and then try to put some pressure on Denny. If he gets
right now, Denny Hamlin has the lead.
Push him up the racetrack in 1 or 2.
Well, we saw Christopher Bell fire off really well on the last restart and was able to put himself in a great position. So we'll see what happens here.
For those of you looking for
So yeah, here about to fire things back up here on this restart. Denny Hamlin currently with the lead. Tyler Reddick in second place. Ryan Blaney in third, and William Byron is in fourth.
Hamlin is 8th, Reddick 3rd, Blaney 12th.
And my boy Chase Elliott has made it all the way to row number 3. And Kyle Busch has made it all the way up into row number 4 in the 8th place position or 7th place position. No, 8th place.
Everybody here is on their feet. Keelan Harvick next to me standing on the chair so he gets a good view over his dad's shoulder. I'm nervous. We're all nervous.
All right, here we go, guys. And we're about to get fired back up here on this restart in NASCAR overtime. Can Danny Hamlin hold off the other drivers behind him to win back-to-back races? Well, we're going to find out right now as they're back racing at Darlington Raceway. And Danny Hamlin pulls away with the lead, but William Byron's right on his tail. as Tyler Reddick takes the inside there. Hamlin pulls away in the number 11 here. A nice restart there. William Byron right behind him as they come down the backstretch. A block from Tyler Reddick to Christopher Bell, who tries to make it 3 wide. And oh man, Tyler Reddick pushes right into William Byron, shoves him into the wall, and then Tyler Reddick gets into Christopher Bell on the inside. Final lap to go. Denny Hamlin has the lead, and if nobody else can catch him, Denny Hamlin's gonna win back-to-back races here early on in the NASCAR Cup Series season. And coming down the backstretch, Denny Hamlin in the lead in his number 11 Toyota Camry. And as they come around and exit turn number 4, Denny Hamlin is gonna win here at Darlington Raceway. As Toyota continues their dominance here early on in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season, Denny Hamlin gets back-to-back wins and is the winner of the 2025 race here at Darlington Raceway. And that now makes 5 wins this year for Joe Gibbs Racing. After Christopher Bell was able to win 3 straight races, now Denny Hamlin says it's my turn, boys, as he wins back-to-back races here and gets the victory at Darlington Raceway, where people say it's too tough to tame, but not for the veteran in the Cup Series, Denny Hamlin and the number 11 Toyota Racing team for Joe Gibbs Racing. And William Byron, tough break for William Byron, who ends up finishing second after a dominating performance here where he led over 90% of the laps here at Darlington Raceway. So he finishes second in his number 24 Chevy. Christopher Bell finishes third in his number 20 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. A nice top 5 finish for him. And we see Tyler Reddick finishes fourth in his number 45 Toyota. And Ryan Blaney, the guy who's got to be the most upset for that caution coming out. Ryan Blaney ends up finishing 5th to round out your top 5 here. And Ryan Blaney had this race won, but unfortunately, a caution flag comes out after Kyle Larson, who was back on the racetrack after spinning early in the race, spins out once again in the same spot he did at the start of the race and now at the end of the race. And with that caution flag, we went into NASCAR overtime, and unfortunately Ryan Blaney's pit crew let him down and surrendered the lead. And as Denny Hamlin's pit crew was able to get him the lead in NASCAR overtime, Denny Hamlin is able to take care of business with 2 laps to go and wins at Darlington Raceway to get his second win of the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. And man, Ryan Blaney, you have got to feel for him and his team. They had this race won before the restart, before that caution flag came out. And now, after that great launch there, William Byron gave Denny Hamlin a nice push there on the outside. William Byron tried to make a move, staying on the outside, but unfortunately, Tyler Reddick, as we see getting in to turn number 3 here, coming down the backstretch after it went 3 wide, Tyler Reddick tries to stay in the middle lane, but ends up catching some contact there with William Byron. And unfortunately for him, he ends up finishing 4th here.
Not the one they wanted.
No, not at all.
And Denny Hamlin burns out the tires, and the fans there in Darlington, South Carolina are loving it as Denny Hamlin gets the win here.
11.
And thank you everybody for hanging out here on Tim Reynolds Show. This has been your 2025 NASCAR Cup Series play-by-play, race play-by-play from Tim Reynolds Show. Let's go. And your winner is Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing. Thank you everybody for hanging out here on the channel. Peace out everybody. Hope you guys have a really good rest of your Sunday evening. And thanks for hanging out here on this NASCAR race day here on Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Peace out everybody. Have a great weekend.
Hamlin scores his 56th career